You have the office.
Say marijuana too. Marijuana, you don't go as deep as you're supposed to. That you think you're supposed to go that you get on as deep. Why don't we Google does ambient affect activity? Or would you like to look? I guess it's the very first thing that come up are just like laws about being. Yes, like it's sleep.
I mean, young Jamie, does he have to teach you how to Google shit?
You know what? I need to talk to. Well, I know that Matthew Walker was talking. I need to talk to someone else and get the rap down, or just let. Because I know there's something to it. It doesn't totally. It's not the same as just sleeping 8 hours without the same amount of recovery or something. It just seems like anytime you take something, it just knocks you out. Like a chemical just put you out. It can't be good. It can't be good for the chemical you take that crashes you. That's not good. You've done something. You're gonna recover once you crash. You've done something very strange. You've taken something that shuts you off. Just to me, that when I'm up, I'm up. And when I'm up, I'm out. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get up. When I'm tired, I'll lay down. I'm not taking it. Well, I need that. If you want to be healthier, taking something that just makes you go to sleep is not. I mean, yeah, it's one thing if it's a natural alternative that just relaxes you and relax, but something that knocks you the fuck out and you wake up in a gunfight with the cops, because that's what Ambien does. Kevin James woke up in the middle. I talked about it on one of my specials. He ate a fucking turkey. Went to the grocery store. He ate food. And people came home and they're like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Someone broke into the house." He went to the supermarket and bought food and made a meal. And he thought that someone broke into his house and cooked. So people are in the middle of a drive on the highway. They wake up. They have no idea how they got there. They have no idea. Some people, when they're on Ambien, they just Ambien. They do all kinds of wacky shit.
Did you see that, Bill?
I think people have committed murders when they're on Ambien. I think there was a guy. Let's see if that's true.
Really?
Walker says that. Yeah. So, of course, the other stuff that you read was shills by the pill industry trying to fill up the Google search. Folks can stay up. I'm tired of it. You know when they didn't need sleeping pills? Back in the fucking pioneer days. Take a wagon across the country and fight out the Indians all day. Just go to sleep. Just sleep. You're tired. Take dishes all day. You're tired. Exhausted. I've always used Reefer to sleep. I've always used Reefer to slow me down. I know for a fact. It always slowed me down. Yeah, fucked up like that. So, something should have treated him with something early on that didn't catch it, that it don't exist. Now I know how to calm myself down. Self-medicate. I know how to smoke the Reefer. I really think that meditation last time was so what took me from where I was at. They helped me to make it. It's acceptance is the main thing. That's all that's going on now. Once you accept it, there's nothing back to it. Live for 20 more years. Accepting this that you didn't fuck up and nobody around you fucked up. You didn't fuck up, Joe. This is just didn't fuck up because I shot somebody. It was no alright. You know, this is something from life. We will all bounce back.
On life.
I think 6 months. You know, I know that's going to change people's lives for the better. People are like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? This is make people think outside the box. Yeah, so there's both negative and
How it works for you is up to you. How it works for you is all gonna be up to you.
Well, every time there's a moment of adversity, you can recover from that moment. If you can recover from that moment, that inside every seed of adversity is, or inside every adversity is a seed of an equivalent benefit. Was that Think and Grow Rich? Was that guy's name? This week.
With 850 fucking.
Yes, Napoleon Hill's book. Very interesting book. Rough on a lot too. He loves that book.
Remember when it was saying going live yard?
One of his motivational books. Joey Diaz, let's wrap this up. 3 hours in. It's always great to see you.
Good to see you, Jamie. Good to see you, brother.
You know,
I know Jamie's dying. There's no sports. I've been thinking about him a lot lately.
what they do, are they going to just put everything aside for a little bit?
They're like NASCAR is doing like this weekend. They're starting up this fast track. I know everything's wrong.
Oh,
But right back to another very interesting. You know, just going in there, not training, taking it like getting fucking lit.
yeah,
Fucking coming out to the shit.
stopped him.
And then you coming back, catching that shit right. And then coming back, and that's it, right? I wish you could narrate. Like that was like, oh, you jumped in, you and Eddie get together and do that. It's like, that's great. Right now to get the whole fights.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh my God, this is the time to do it.
We should have a fight companion for old pride fights. Like get some of the
Yeah,
pride
because I have no
free
knowledge
cards.
on it.
That's what we should do.
Like I love to go get school done. Overeem,
Yes.
McKinney, the Japanese guy.
Which one? Sakuraba?
Sakuraba, the Nogara brothers,
Yeah.
like that's the education.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll pick out a card. Pride Dynamite or some shit. There's so many together. Oh yeah, we could totally do that. But the best way I think would be to watch the whole card with us. So we're gonna press like we do with regular fights. So they can be synced up so they're watching it with us.
Yeah, I was thinking last week,
It's a great idea.
Diaz and Breger had everybody all the fights. And they ended up in Korea.
Didn't ESPN have something like 11 hours of fights?
Yes. They ended up with Korea.
Here's the thing, God. UFC fights, for some strange reason, and I'm not sure why, they're as entertaining to watch the second time as anything I've ever seen ever.
I still have Diaz and Breger on my pay-per-view.
Dude, I've watched Sean Whitley and Yoni and Jay Check. I've watched that 5 times. Yes, I have. I watched it on my TV at home. I've
It's
watched.
like watching them cut gems.
It's so good.
But that was so good. That was so nerve-wracking.
That fight was so crazy. I've watched that fight a gang of times. I watched the Style Bender Yoel Romero fight at least 2 times. I watched John Jones, Thiago Alves. I watched that. Thiago. Oh, no. Thiago Santos. Jesus Christ. Thiago Alves. Thiago. Weed! I blame the weed! But I watched that a bunch of times. I watched the Dominic Reyes fight a bunch of times. I watched that fight at least 4 or 5 times. Watch that fight with fine-tooth comb. I don't know. I still can't remember. That anybody says that this guy wanted that guy wanted that fight, that's open to interpretation. That third round is open to interpretation. No question. Dominic Reyes won the first 2. No question. John Jones won the last 2. Can we make it even? It seemed like it's hard to see. That's hard to say round. I kind of lean towards maybe Dominic Reyes did enough to win that round. I think he landed more volume in that round. John controlled the center of the octagon. John was starting to put pressure on him. John was starting to catch him. Especially towards the end of the round, John was full out. He did score higher. The end of the round to me is like this is when shit started to change. One person might have got a relief from the bell, while the other person was gaining the advantage. That's what it seemed like at the end of round 3. It seemed like John was starting to gain the advantage. It's good. It's a good fight, man. Dominic Reyes is a bad motherfucker. He put on a show. You think about what he did and how calm he stayed in front of the vote. The guy who's beating everybody. John Jones beat everybody. There's a real argument that he might have done enough to win the decision. I don't necessarily agree with that argument. I almost kind of agree with a draw. People saw a draw. I can almost see that third round being a draw. But I like John winning because John was stronger in the fourth and fifth rounds. I think it means more. I think it should be. I know it doesn't, but it should. It's like the fight was going his way. He was starting to take over. That's what you want to see. You want to see the guy who's trying to chase the other guy down and beat on him at the end of the fight. Who's doing that at the end of the fight? At the end of the fight was John Jones. But still, right, impressive. You got to think the Thiago Silva fight. Thiago Santos fight. Jesus Christ. Thiago Silva was other bad motherfucker. The Thiago Santos fight was a split decision. Forget that. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it. It was a split decision. I thought John won. But it was close enough that one judge disagreed. One judge, incompetent or competent, you beat a judge, gave it to Thiago Santos. And, Thiago Santos. Four, three, two, one, boom. Thank you. Thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for not lighting this place on fire.
You're welcome. Let's have it later.
How does one, just in the middle of doing all the things you do, create cars, rockets, all this stuff you're doing, constantly innovating, decide to just flamethrower? Where do you have time for that?
Well, the thing we didn't put a lot of time into it because this was an off-the-cuff thing, and so I have sort of like sort of a hobby company, a boring company, which started out as a joke, and we decided to go real and take a ton to LA.
What's up, pimps? It's your favorite rabbi here. Next up is Joe Rogan Experience number 1169 in the Discord. If you don't know, I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for 666 plus days. This is more content than anyone has on the internet. And when my stream goes viral, we're going to make sure that Rogan coin goes to the moon, baby. Woo woo! Oh, that was really good.
specific tunnels. So we said yes in a few cases. And then we have a merchandise section that only has one piece of merchandise at a time. We started off with a can. There's only one thing, which is boringcompany.com/can or hat. That's it. And then we sold the hats, limited edition, which is at the Boring Company. And then on become Spaceballs movie, and in Spaceballs, yogurt goes through the merchandising section, and they have a flamethrower in the merchandising section of Spaceballs. And the kids love that one. That's the line. It's up the flamethrower. It's like, we should do a flamethrower. So
Does anybody tell you no? Does anybody go, you for yourself, but selling a flamethrower, the liabilities, all the people you're selling this device to, what kind of unhinged people are going to be buying a flamethrower in the first place? Do we really want to connect ourselves to all these potential arsonists?
yeah, it's a terrible idea. It's terrible. Don't buy one. I said, don't buy this flamethrower. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. That's what I said. And still, people bought it. Yeah, there's nothing I can do to stop them. I don't not stop them. I said, don't buy it. It's a bad idea.
How many did you make?
It's dangerous. It's wrong. Don't buy it. Still, people bought it. I can just stop them.
How many did you make?
20,000.
And they're all gone.
In 4 days. They sold out in 4 days.
Are you going to do another run?
No.
No, it's it.
Yes. I said we did 20. We did 50,000. 50,000 hats. And that was $1 million. And then okay, well, we sell something for $10 million, and that was 20,000 flamethrowers at $500 each. They went fast.
How do you have the time to do that, though? I mean, I understand that it's not a big deal in terms of all the other things you do, but how do you have time to do anything? I don't understand your time management skills.
I mean, it didn't seem.
Well, my phone feels better.
Flamethrower. I mean, to be totally frank, it's actually just a roofing torch with an air rifle cover. It's not a real flamethrower.
Which is why it says not a flamethrower.
That's why we were very clear. This is not actually a flamethrower. And also we were told that various countries would ban shipping of it. They would ban flamethrowers. So to solve this problem, both customs agencies, we believe that they're not a flamethrower.
Did it work? Was it effective?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
So far?
Yes.
No, but you do.
They said you cannot serve a flamethrower.
But you do so many different things. Forget about the flamethrower. Like, how do you do all that other shit? Like, how does one decide to fix LA traffic by drilling holes in the ground? And who do you even approach with that? Like, when you have this idea, who do you talk to about that?
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be successful. You know, I'm not necessarily saying that's going to be successful. But so far, I've lived in LA for 16 years, and the traffic has always been terrible. And so, I don't see any other ideas for improving the traffic. So, in desperation, we're going to dig a tunnel, and maybe that tunnel will be successful, and maybe it won't.
I'm listening.
Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you it's going to work.
And are the people
or anyone.
But you were starting this, though. This is actually a project you're starting to implement, right?
Yeah, no, we've done about a mile. It's quite long. It takes a long time to walk.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing this, what is the ultimate plan? The ultimate plan is to have these in major cities and anywhere there's mass congestion, and just try it out in LA first.
Yeah, it's in LA because I mostly live in it. That's the reason. It's a terrible place to dig tunnels. It's one of the worst places to dig tunnels because mostly because of the paperwork. People think it's like, what about the size of it? Actually, both tunnels are very safe in earthquakes.
Why is that?
Earthquakes are essentially of surface phenomena. It's like waves in the ocean. So if there's a storm, you want to be in a submarine. So being in tunnels like being in a submarine. Now, the way the tunnel's constructed is it's constructed out of these interlocking segments, kind of like a snake, sort of like a snake exoskeleton with double seals. And so, even when the ground moves, the tunnel actually is able to shift along with the ground, like an underground snake. And it doesn't crack or break or it's extremely unlikely that both seals. And it's capable of taking 5 atmospheres of pressure. It's waterproof, methane-proof, gas-proof of any kind, and it's all California-sized requirements.
So when you have this idea, who do you bring this to?
I'm sure we need that.
Well, when you're implementing it, so you're digging holes in the ground, you have to bring it to someone that lets you do it.
Yeah, so there were some engineers from SpaceX who thought it would be cool to do this. And the guy who runs it, like, day-to-day is Steve Davis. He's a long-time SpaceX engineer. He's great. So Steve was like, I'd like to help make this happen. So we started off with digging a hole in the ground. It's got like a river pit, big pit. It's like a big pit.
And you have to tell them what the pit's for, or you just say, hey, I just want to dig a hole.
Nice flat was formed. And
That's it.
yeah, it was a pit in our parking lot.
But do you have to give them some sort of blueprint for your ultimate idea? And do they have to approve it? Like, how does that work?
Now we just started off with a pit.
Okay.
A big pit. And, there's not really, I don't really care about the existential nature of a pit. Just a pit.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a hole in the ground. So then we got to go to the pit, and we dug the pit, and we dug it in 3 days, 2-3 days, actually 20 hours. Yeah. There's an aircraft city was coming by from the Hyperloop. He was going to attend the Hyperloop competition, which is the biggest competition we have for make the fastest pod in the Hyperloop. And the finals were going to be on Sunday afternoon, and so the actors came by on Sunday afternoon. It was like, we should take this pit and then like show Eric. So it was like Friday morning, and then so about a little bit 40 hours later, we dug the pit. Just like went 24/7, no 24, 40 straight hours, something like that, and dug this big pit, and we're like, showed Eric the pit. Obviously, it's just a pit. But hey, it's hole in the ground is better than no hole in the ground.
And what do you tell them about this pit? You said this is the beginning of this idea.
Yes.
We're going to build tunnels under LA to help funnel traffic. And they just go, okay. We've joked around about this in the podcast before. Like, what other person could go to the people that run the city and go, hey, we're going to dig some holes on the ground, put some tunnels in there. And they go, oh, yeah, okay.
I know the hole in the ground.
But it's
people dig holes in the ground all the time.
Well, but my question is, like, I know how much time you must be spending on your Tesla factory. I know how much time you must be spending on SpaceX. And you still have time to dig holes under the ground in LA and come up with these ideas and then implement them.
I had a million ideas.
I'm sure you did.
There's no shortage of that. Yeah.
I just don't know how you manage your time. I don't understand. It doesn't even seem humanly possible.
I do. I think people that don't really understand what I do with my time, they think like I'm a business guy or something like that. I have a Wikipedia page that says business magnate.
What would you call yourself?
Business magnate. It's not please change my Wikipedia page to magnet.
They'll change it right now.
It's changed. It's locked. So somebody has to be able to unlock it and change it to a magnet.
Someone
I want to be a magnet. I do engineering and manufacturing and that kind of thing. It's like 80% more of my time.
Ideas and then the implementation of those things.
That's like hardcore engineering, like designing things,
Right.
Structural, mechanical, electrical, software, user interface, engineering, aerospace engineering.
But you must understand there's not a whole lot of human beings like you. You know that, right? So you're an odyssey
Yes,
to chimps like me.
we're all chimps.
Yeah, we are.
But one notch above each other.
Some of us are a little more confused. When I watch you doing all these things, I'm like, how does this motherfucker have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
It's like alien.
That's what I've speculated.
Yes.
I'm on record saying this in the past. I wonder
It's true.
if there was one. I was like, if there was like maybe an intelligent being that we created, like some AI creature that's superior to people, maybe they just hang around with us for a while like you've been doing, and then fix a bunch of shit. Maybe that's the way.
I might have some mutation.
You might. Do you think you do?
Probably.
Do you wonder? Like, are you around normal people? You're like, some of these boring dumb motherfuckers. Never?
Not bad for a human. But I think I'll not be able to hold a candle to AI.
You scare the shit out of me when you talk about AI. Between you and Sam Harris. I didn't even consider it until I had a podcast with Sam once.
That's right.
It made me shit my pants. And talking about AI, I realized, like, oh, well, this is a genie that once it's out of the bottle, you never get it back in.
That's true.
There was a video that you tweeted about one of those Boston Dynamic robots. You're like, in the future, it'll be moving so fast you can't see without a strobe light.
Yeah. Probably do that right now.
And no one's really paying attention too much other than people like you or people that are really obsessed with technology. All these things are happening. These robots are... Did you see the one where PETA put out a statement that you shouldn't kill robots?
Oh, you know, why is
For retribution.
their memory is very good.
I bet it's really good.
It's really good.
I bet it is.
Yes.
You're getting better every day.
It's really good.
Are you honestly legitimately concerned about this? Is like AI one of your main worries in regards to the future?
Yes. It's less of a worry than it used to be. Mostly due to taking more of a fatalistic attitude.
So you used to have more hope, and you gave up some of it, and now you don't worry as much about AI. Like, this is just what it is.
Yes, they're not. It's no. It's not necessarily bad. It's definitely going to be outside of control.
Not necessarily bad, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad. It's just outside of your control. And the thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, right?
How far do you think we are from something that can make its own mind up, whether or not something's ethically or morally correct, or whether or not it wants to do something, or whether or not it wants to prove itself, or whether or not it wants to protect itself from people or from other AI? How far away are we from something that's really truly sentient?
Well, and lucky that any group of people, like a company is essentially a cybernetic collective of people and machines. That's what a company is. And then there are different levels of complexity that these companies are formed. And then there are sort of there's this like a collective AI in the Google search, where we're all sort of plugged in as nodes on the network. It's a big tree. We're all feeding this network their questions and answers. We're all collectively programming the AI. And then Google plus the humans that connected with our one giant cybernetic collective. It's also true with Facebook, and Twitter, and Instagram, and all these social networks. The giant cybernetic collectors.
Humans and electronics all interfacing and constantly connected.
Yes. Constantly.
One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot over the last few years is that one of the things that drives a lot of people crazy is how many people are obsessed with materialism and getting the latest, greatest thing. And I wonder how much of that is, well, a lot of it is most certainly fueling technology and innovation. It almost seems like it's built into us. It's like what we like and what we want. We're fueling this thing that's constantly around us all the time. And it doesn't seem possible that people are going to pump the brakes. It doesn't seem possible at this stage where we're constantly expecting the newest cell phone, latest Tesla update, the newest MacBook Pro. Everything has to be newer and better. And that's going to lead to some incredible point. And it seems like it's built into us. It almost seems like it's an instinct that we're working towards this, that we like it. Our job, just like the ants build the anthill, our job is to somehow know the fuel this.
Yes. I think it was quite some years ago, but it feels like we are a biological bootloader of AI. Like we are building it. And then we're building progressively greater intelligence. And the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. But the AI is informed, strangely, by the human limbic system. It is not quite out yet written knowledge.
How so?
We mentioned all those things, the drives, it's all things that we like and hate, fear. They're all there. They're in their projection of other existing.
No, it makes sense. And thinking of it as thinking of corporations and just thinking of just human beings communicating online through social media networks is some sort of an organism. It's a cycle. It's a combination. It's a combination of electronics and biology.
Yeah. It's a measure like the success of these online systems is a function of how much limbic resonance they're able to achieve with more limbic resonance, more engagement.
Whereas, like, one of the reasons why probably Instagram is more enticing than Twitter.
Limbic resonance.
Yeah. More images, more video.
Yes.
Tweaking your system more.
Yes.
Do you worry or wonder, in fact, about what the next step is? A lot of people didn't see Twitter coming. Communicating with 140 characters or 280 now would be a thing people would be interested in. Like, it's going to excel. It's going to become more connected to us, right?
Yes. Things are getting more and more connected. They're at this point constrained by our input outputs, particularly output from voice with thumbs. Thumbs. But the images are just also another way of communicating. Take pictures, send pictures. That communicates more information.
So what happened with you where you decided, or you took on a more fatalistic attitude? Like, what was there any specific thing, or was it just the inevitability of our future?
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
The scene,
Nobody
scene in a movie
Nobody
where the
listens.
robots could fucking take over and you're freaking me out. Nobody listens.
Nobody listens.
No one. Are people more inclined to listen today? It seems like an issue that's brought up more often over the last few years than it was maybe 5, 10 years ago. It seemed like science fiction.
So far, I haven't. I think we've learned, the way that regulations work is very slow. So, there's going to be some things, new technology will cause damage or death. There will be an outcry. There will be investigation. Years will pass. There will be some sort of insight in the rulemaking, the oversight, regulations. This all takes many years. This is the normal course of things. You can say, what regulations? How long did it take for seatbelts to be required? The auto industry forged seatbelts was for a decade. Successfully forged anti-regulations on seatbelts even though it's extremely obvious. Who had seatbelts? Far less likely to die in surgery. The industry fought this for years successfully. Eventually, after many people died, regulators insisted on this time frame is not relevant to AI. You cannot take 10 years. Just 9 years. It's too late.
And you feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late? If you have this fatalistic attitude and you feel like it's going to, we're in a almost like a doomsday countdown.
It's not necessarily a doomsday countdown. It's a
Out of control countdown?
out of control. Yeah, we've got the singularity, and that's what we think about it. It's a singularity. It's hard to predict. Like black hole, what happens past the event horizon?
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very difficult because it will
Once
be
you
able
chase
to,
out of the bubble, what's going to happen?
and it'll be able to improve itself.
Yes.
That's where it gets spooky, right? The idea that it can do thousands of years of innovation very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll be just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
We will be like this ridiculous biological shitting, pissing thing trying to stop the gods. No, stop. We like living with a finite lifespan and watching Norman Rockwell paintings.
It could be terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
I think one thing's for sure not controlled.
Do you think that it's likely that we will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now? Or do you think it will replace us?
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it. That's yeah. So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the focus of your is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth in this hand to communicate with systems.
And where's neural link at right now?
I think we'll have something interesting to announce. That's at least what we think that it's probably nothing better than what is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
Or jump the gun on that.
Well, what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind that? What are you trying to accomplish? What would you like best case scenario?
I think best case scenario we actually merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer where we've got the limbic system, the primitive brain essentially. We've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. The cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally, people like their cortex, they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Our research shows that like both. And the cortex is mostly itself to the limbic system. You may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happen. That's what most of that is regards to. How can we make the limbic system happen? That's what we're doing. Now, if we do have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic, and it's enough member between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself, such that the AI is de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome in the future.
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have super cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power will be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants will just do it. In theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome of humanity will be the sum of human will, the sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
But billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability. Radically.
Yes.
And which would be, if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, how much different you're talking about? When you say radically improvement, what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's like how much smarter are you with a computer? It's vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question. You can connect to the internet. You can answer any question. Pretty much instantly, any calculation. The influence memory is essentially perfect. You can remember obviously, book, remember videos, pictures, everything perfectly. That's your phone is already an extension of you. You're already the cyborg. You don't. Most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. If that phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself, that is your phone, computer, is slow. It's very slow. And that there's like a tiny scroll of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny scroll a giant, huge, high bandwidth interface. It's an interface problem. Data rate problem. Solve the data rate problem. I think we hang on to human machine symbiosis. And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably choose to retain their biological self.
Versus some sort of Ray Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer.
It will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you just upload it to a unit. Down the rabbit hole.
This is too free. See, if I
I've
was
been thinking
thinking
about this for a long time, by the way.
If I was talking to one of my cheers,
Cheers. And it's a great whiskey.
brothers. Old King.
It's good.
Thanks. Yeah, that's good. this is just inevitable. Again, going back to when you decided to have this fatalistic viewpoint. So you tried to warn people. You talked about this pretty extensively. I've read several interviews where you talked about this, and then you sort of said, okay, it just is. It's just, and in a way, by communicating the potential fear, I mean, for sure, you're getting the warning out to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was really going on wanting quite a lot. Everyone I could get my Obama just for one reason.
Let's talk about AI.
Yes.
What did you say? So what about Hillary? What about her first? Shh.
Oh, you listened. You said you listened. I met with Congress. I was at a meeting of the governors. I told about just AI danger. And everyone I could. No one seemed to realize where this was going.
Is it that, or do they just assume that someone smarter than them started taking care of it? Because when people hear about something like AI, it's almost abstract. It's almost like it's so hard to wrap your head around. And by the time it already happens, it'll be too late.
Yeah. I don't understand yet. I think it was I'm not sure what to do about it. I was like, an obvious thing to do is to just establish a committee, government committee, to gain insight for review oversight, regulations, and then we have an insight committee that once they know what's going on, get up to speed, and they can make some rules, and that would be probably safe.
It seems, I mean, I know that it's probably something the government's supposed to handle, but it seems like I don't want the government to handle this.
Do you want to?
I want you to handle it. Yeah. I feel like you're the one who can ring the bell better. Because if Mike Pence starts talking about AI, I'm like, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I don't have the power to regulate other companies. What am I supposed to do?
Right. Well, maybe companies could agree. Maybe there could be some sort of we have agreements where you're not supposed to dump toxic waste into the ocean, even though they'd be profitable. Maybe this is one of those things. Maybe we should realize that you can't hit a switch on something that's going to be able to think for itself and make its own lives to whether or not it wants to survive or not, whether or not it thinks you're a threat. Whether or not it thinks you're useless. Like, why do I keep this dumb, finite life form alive? Why keep this thing around? It's just stupid. It just keeps shooting everywhere it goes, lighting on fire and shooting each other. Why would I keep this stupid thing alive? Because sometimes it makes good music. Sometimes it makes great movies. Sometimes it makes beautiful art. Sometimes it's cool to hang out with.
Yeah, all those reasons.
Yeah, for us, those are great reasons. But for anything objective, standing outside, this is definitely a flawed system. This is like if you went to the jungle and watched these chimps engage in warfare. Chimps are mean. Fucking really.
Fucking mean. I saw that movie Chimpanzee. Yeah, those are like some Disney things. Count.
What movie is that?
Those are called Chimpanzee.
Is it a documentary?
Yeah, it's kind of like a documentary. I'm like, damn, these chimps are mean.
They're mean.
Yeah, they're cruel.
Yeah, they're calculated.
Yeah.
They sneak up on each other.
Like I didn't realize chimps that are calculated cruelty.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Lift up
Right. Well, we know better because we've advanced. But if we hadn't, house, like the chimp ways, bro. Chimp ways to go. This is it, man. Chimp life. So like fighting out. But we, in a way, to the AI, might be like those chimps. Like these stupid fucks launching missiles out of drones and shooting each other underwater. Like we're crazy. We got torpedoes and submarines and fucking airplanes and dropping nuclear bombs indiscriminately on cities. We're assholes.
Yeah.
They might go, why are they doing this? They might like look at our politics, look at what we do in terms of our food system. kind of food people force down each other's throats. And they're like, these people are crazy. They didn't look out for themselves.
I don't know. Like, how much do we think about chimps? Not much.
Very little.
It's like these chimps are at war. They just like it's like groups of chimps just attack each other. They kill each other. They torture each other. It's pretty bad. They hunt monkeys. They're like this is probably the most. You know, when's the last time you tried chimps?
Me?
Yeah.
All the time.
You do talk. Okay, well, unfortunately, yeah.
Podcast? Dude, that's
It's Chip City
episode.
Okay.
People are laughing right now. I saw that many, many years ago. It just changed how I go, oh, this is why people should it came from that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or there's the bonobos.
Yeah.
They're gonna like better philosophy.
Yeah, they're like swingers. Yeah, they really are. They seem to be way more, even than us, way more civilized.
They just seem to resolve everything with sex.
Yeah. The only rules they have is the mom won't bang the son. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Mom won't bang her sons. They're good women.
Yeah.
Good women in the bonobo community. Everybody else is banging it out.
Yeah. I haven't seen the bonobo movie.
Well, they're disturbing just at a zoo. You know, bonobos at the zoo.
They just constantly go.
Constantly fucking. That's all they do.
It's more stuff.
Yeah, they don't care. Gay, straight, whatever. This is fuck.
I haven't seen bonobos at a zoo. It's probably like not in the PG section.
I don't think they have them at many zoos. We've looked at them.
It's probably pretty over.
I think that's the thing that they really like to keep regular chimps in zoos because bonobos are just jacking off.
Yeah.
What's that? They up in San Diego? Really? Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, how many of them are in a cage?
Right.
It's gonna be pretty intense.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a weird thing, you know, and I've often wondered if birth is something to do with it. And that's why we're so obsessed with technology. It's not like this technology is really, I mean, it's certainly enhancing our lives too in a certain way, but ultimately, is it making people happier right now? Most technology, I would say no. In fact, you and I were talking about social media before this, about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing with it. You feel better.
Yes, I think one of the issues with social media, it's been pointed out by many people, is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really. So people basically seem way better looking than they really are. And they're way happier. So Instagram, you might think, man, all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, you know, and that's gonna make me sad. So when in fact, what people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed, they're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time, no matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad. Just by comparison, because you people generally think of themselves relative to others. We're constantly re-baselining our expectations. And you can see this, say, if you watch some show like Naked and Free, you're just go and try living in the woods by yourself. People in that civilization is quite great. It's a lot of it. People want to come back to civilization pretty fast. Naked and Afraid.
Wasn't that a Thoreau quote? The comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, well, happiness is reality minus expectations.
That's great too. But the comparison is the thief of joy really holds true to people. Is it? You know, Roosevelt. When you're thinking about Instagram, because what essentially Instagram is with a lot of people is you're giving them the opportunity to be their own PR agent, and they always go towards the glamours, you know. And when they're, you know,
Yeah.
you look good anyway. You look great. What are you doing? Oh my God, you're not baby. I just look hot as fuck. You know what you're doing too. They're they're letting you know, and then they're feeding off the comment section. So like it's a fresh stream of love, getting right up to the source as it comes out of the earth. Something that's
a lot of emojis.
Water.
Emojis.
Yeah.
A lot of emojis.
My concern is not so much what Instagram is that I didn't think that people had the need for this or the expectation for some sort of technology that allows them to constantly get love and adulation from strangers, comments, and this ability to project this sort of distorted version of who you really are. But I worry about where it goes. What's the next round? What's the next one? Where is it? Is it going to be augmented? Some sort of a weird augmented or virtual sort of Instagram type situation? Where you're not going to want to live in this real world. You're going to want to interface with this sort of world you've created through social media. Some next level thing.
Yeah. You live in the simulation.
Yeah, maybe some Ready Player One type shit that's real. That seems, we have that HTC Vive here. I've only done it a couple times, quite honestly, because it kind of freaks me out. Sure. My kids fucking love it, man. They love it. They love playing these weirdo games and walking around with that headset on. But part of me watching them do it goes, wow, I wonder if this is like the precursor. Just sort of like if you look at like that phone that Gordon Gekko had on the beach.
Yeah,
and you compare
big cell phone.
Yeah, you compare that to like a Galaxy Note 9. Like, how the fuck did that become that, right? And I wonder when I see this HTC Vive, I'm like, what is that thing going to be 10 years from now when we're making fun of what it is now? What is it? How ingrained and how connected, interconnected is this technology going to be in our life?
Will be at some point extinction from reality.
But we'll lose this. We'll lose this. Like you and I just look at each other through our eyes. I see you, you see me. I think. I hope.
You think so?
I think probably in front of our eyes.
This could be some simulation.
Do you entertain that?
Well, the argument for the simulation is quite strong. Because if you assume any improvements at all over time, any improvements, 1%, 0.1%, just extend the time frame, make it 1,000 years, a million years. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. What would civilization, if you count it, very generous civilization, is maybe 7 or 8,000 years old. If you count it from the first point. So, if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then games will be indistinguishable or civilization will end.
To me, it has to.
We could be in base reality. We
could be here now, on our way to the road, or on our way to the destination where this can never happen again. Where we are completely ingrained in some sort of an artificial technology, some sort of symbiotic relationship with the internet or the next level of sharing information. But right now we're not there. That's possible too, right? It's possible that a simulation is one day going to be inevitable. We're going to have something that's indistinguishable from regular reality. But maybe we're not there yet. That's also possible. We're not quite there yet. This is real. When I touch that
feels very real.
Maybe that's why everybody's like in like mason jars and shit. Suede shoes. People are into like craft restaurants and they really want raw wood. Everyone wants to see metal. It seems like people are like longing towards some weird log cabin type nostalgia.
Reality.
Yeah, like holding on, clinging, just dragging their nails through the mud. Like, don't take me yet.
Yes, but then people will get a mason jar with one that's dark. Next week, this week, humanity.
Wine stem and a handle. Do they have those?
Yes.
That's just assholes. That's like people make pet rocks rough, right? It's just some people are just assholes. They take advantage of our generous nature.
Just made with wine stem.
They made it that way. Yeah. So it wasn't like
manufacturers included option.
Right. Nobody like made that white trash cheek. Oh, this is disgusting. This is really hard. Yep. This is terrible. Yeah. It's like fake breasts that are designed to be hard, like fake breasts from the 60s. It's like, if you really long for the ones with ripples, here we go. That's almost better.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, man? It's nothing. It's like you start terrible ideas from propagating.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like the picture too dark because I think like I have to be optimistic about the future. Pessimistic. It's just too negative. Doesn't help. Doesn't help. You know, I think you want to be. My theory is that you'd rather be optimistic. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic.
Right.
At least we're on that side.
Right. Yeah.
So you can be pessimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody wants to be around you anymore. It's the end of the world. Fucking told you, bro.
Yeah.
The world's ending. Yeah. It is what it is for all. I mean,
enjoy the journey.
Right, if you really want to get morose, it is what it is for all of us anyway. We're all unless something changes.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you know, even if we just sort of existed as humans forever, we'd still eventually there'd be like a heat death in the universe.
Right.
So condition.
Right. Even if we get it past the sun, if we figure out a way past the sun, what you gotta choose.
Eventually, it's gonna end. It's just a question of when.
Right.
So it really gets all about the journey.
More transcendence from whatever we are now to something that is more like
the universe as we know it dissipates into a fine mist of all or nothing eventually.
And then someone's gonna bottle it and put a fragrance to it. Sell it. The French people in another dimension.
It's just a very long time. So I think it's really just about how can we make it last longer.
Are you a proponent of the multi-universes theory? Do you believe that there are many, many universes? That even if this one fades out, there's other ones that are starting fresh right now, and there's an infinite number of them. They're just constantly in this never-ending cycle of birth and death.
I think most likely it's this is what there are many, many simulations. The simulations are might as well call them reality. Or you can call them multiverse.
These simulations you believe are created, and someone is manufactured.
They're running on the substrate.
So
that substrate is probably boring.
Or sorry.
Well, when we create a simulation, like a game or a movie, it's the distillation of what's interesting about it. It takes a year to shoot an action movie, and then that's all distilled down into 2 or 3 hours. So, let me tell you, if you see an action movie being filmed, it's boring. It's super boring. It's like lots of takes. There's a green screen. It looks pretty goofy. It doesn't look cool. But once you have CGI, and great editing, it's amazing. So, like most likely, if we're in a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation. Because why would you make simulations boring? You make the simulation way more interesting than makes you happy.
That is if this right now is a simulation.
Yeah.
And ultimately, inevitably, as long as we don't die or anything like that, we're going to create some sort of simulation if we continue on the same technological path we're on.
Yeah.
But we might not be there. So it might not be a simulation here. But it most likely is you feel other places.
This notion of place or where is a
Fog.
Yeah.
Fog.
Where that feels this sort of that vibe, you know, was made by Valve. And the invitation is really Valve, but the invitation is into the hardware industry. Yes. Cool. Great company. Great company. When you're in that virtual reality, which is only going to get better. Where are you? Where are you really?
Right. Well, where's what defines where you are?
Exactly.
Right.
It's your perception.
Is it your perception, or is it a scale on your body? Right here, I've measured you the same way as you were when you left. Meanwhile, your experience.
Why do you think you're where you are right now? You might not be.
That's probably true. Advantages of it. You might have to lock the door.
Right now, you think you're in a studio in LA.
That's what I heard.
Might be the computer.
Oh, listen, man, I think about this all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's unquestionable that one day that'll be the case. As long as we keep going. As long as nothing interrupts us, and if we start from scratch, and, we're single-celled organisms all over again, and then millions and millions of years later, we become the next thing that is us, with creativity and ability to change the environment. It's going to keep monkeying with things until it figures out a way to change reality. To change, almost like punch a hole through what is this thing into what it wants it to be, and create new things. And then those good things will intersect with other people's good things, and then will be this ultimate pathway of infinite ideas and expression, all through technology.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wonder why we're here.
Let's find out. Well, I think we should take the actions, the set of actions that are most likely to make the future better.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then reevaluate those actions to make sure that it's true.
Well, I think there's a movement to that. In terms of like social media, I think some of it's misguided and some of it's exaggerated. There's a lot of people that are fighting for their side out there. But it seems like social awareness seems to be much more heightened now than it's ever been at any other time in history, because of our ability to express ourselves instantaneously through Facebook, Twitter, and then the trend is to abandon preconceived notions, abandon prejudice, abandon discrimination, and promote kindness and happiness as much as possible.
You know what it is?
My friend Don. Just never real samurai sword. That it's from the 1500s. Samurai sword in the table. Yeah, that's cool. I'll grab it. That's a legit samurai sword. An actual samurai from the figure speed. A master craftsman folded that metal and hammered it down over and over again over a long period of time, honed that blade into what it is now. What's crazy is that more than 500 years later, the thing is still pristine. Whoever took care of that and passed it one day seems like he was not a test about that.
You should see what the Tesla can do. I'll show you after.
Well, I've driven one. I love them.
Yeah, but most people don't know what to do.
In terms of like ludicrous mode, in terms of like driving super fast and responsibly on public roads.
What do you want to do that?
Yeah. What can it do that I need to know about?
My wife's going to use like that to convince it very much.
Where it dances.
Yeah.
Legitimately? Like, when you're trying to...
Yeah.
Why would you park on that?
It seemed like fun.
That's what I get about you. That's what's weird. Like when you showed up here, you were all smiles, and you pull out a fucking blowtorch or not a blowtorch. But I'm like, look at this dude.
A flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower. Like he's having
It's
fun.
definitely not.
You're having fun. Like this is like this thing when you program a car to do a ballet dance. It's having fun. How do you have the time to do that? I don't understand. While you're digging holes under the earth, sending rockets into space, and powering people in Australia, like how the fuck do you have time to make the car dance ballet?
Well, I mean, in that case, there was some engineers at Tesla that said, whenever we make this car dance, we use try to get it done in time for Christmas. We did.
Is there concerned about someone just losing their mind and making do that in the highway?
No, it won't do that.
What if it's in bumper traffic?
No.
No, it won't do it.
No, it's actually, you have to, it's an Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg.
Yeah, that's what people don't know about. including people who have the car. Well, it's like you can do lots of things. Lots of things.
Once Reddit gets hold of it,
Oh, you just have it's everyone. If you search for it on the internet, you can find out. People don't know it. They should even search for it.
oh well, they do now.
Yes.
Yes.
There's so many things about Model X and Model S and 3 that I don't know about. We should probably do a video or something and explain it. Because I have close friends of mine who say, do you know the problem with this?
Do you want to do a video of that, or do you like the fact that some people don't know?
No, I think it's probably not. We should tell people.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong. It's not like you don't sell enough of them. You sell almost too many of them, right?
I think Tesla is the most fun thing you could possibly buy ever. That's what it's meant to be.
Well,
Our goal is to make it's not exactly a car. It's actually a thing to maximize enjoyment. Make this maximum fun.
okay. Electronic, like big screen, laptop, ridiculous speed, handling, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have
And you're gonna put video games in it. Yeah.
This is wrong.
Well, you want to be able to drive while. Like for example, we're just putting the Atari emulator, ROM emulator in it, so we'll play Missile Command and Lander and a bunch of other things. Yeah,
That sounds cool.
it's pretty fun.
I like that.
Yeah, we improved the interface of Missile Command because it's too hard with the old trackball. So this is a touchscreen version of Missile Command. So you have a chance.
Do you have an old car, don't you? Don't you have like an old Jaguar?
Yeah, that's what's going on. I have 61 Series 1 E10 Jaguar.
I love cars.
It's great.
Yeah, I love old cars. That's one of the things.
The only two gasoline cars I have are that and an old Ford Model T that that's the only two gasoline cars.
It's a Ford Model T all stock. What is your car?
Soft car.
God, that's
Yeah.
is that your?
Yeah, that is. It's not mine, it's extremely close to mine. And I don't have a French license plate of mine.
Oh, they nailed that.
That's mine looks like that.
God,
That's what mine looks like. Maybe that is mine.
there's certain iconic shapes, and there's something about those cars too. They're not as capable, not nearly as capable as like a Tesla. There's something really satisfying about the mechanical aspects and the shifting. Something about those that's extremely satisfying, even though they're not that competent. Like I have a 1993 Porsche 964. It's like a lightweight. It's not RS America. It's not very fast. It's not in comparison to a Tesla or anything. But the thing about it is like it's mechanical. You feel it and everything's like. It's like it gives you this weird thrill, like you're on this clinky ride, and this all this feedback. There's something to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my time is like basically over.
Yeah. So you like that, but you also like electronics.
Yeah.
Like your Tesla's super. It's like the far end of electronics.
Yeah.
It drives itself.
It's driving itself better every day.
Yeah.
It's like we're about to release the software that will enable you to just turn it on and it'll drive from highway on ramp to highway exit, lane changes to overtake other cars, go from one interchange to the next. If you get on, say, the 405, get off 300 miles later, going through several highway interchanges, and just overtake other cars, look into the nav system, and then cars just drive. It's kind of eerie.
What did you think when you saw that video that you fallen asleep on the wheel? I'm sure you've seen the one in San Francisco. It's like right outside of San Jose. It's out cold like this. The car's in bumper traffic. Wow. You seen it, right?
Yeah, we changed the software. We changed the software. That's how you can hold video. We changed software where if you don't touch the wheel, it will actually slow down and put the emergency lights on and wake you up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Can you choose what voice makes you up?
Well, it's sort of more of a, it sort of honks.
Oh, it honks?
Yeah.
You should be like, wake up, fuckface.
Well,
Endanger your fellow humans. Hey, wake up.
Wake up, essentially.
Hey,
Exactly.
why don't you wake
You're like, pick your,
Right, like
pick
Siri.
what you want.
Yeah, I choose
Yes.
the Australian girl for Siri.
Yeah.
I like her voice.
What is seductive?
My favorite. I like Australian.
What flavor do you want to be angry? Anything.
I want those Australian prison lady jeans. Now, when you program something like that in, is this in response to a concern, or is it your own?
Yeah.
Do you look at it and go, hey, they should just be able to fall asleep? Let's wake them up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, falling asleep. We got to do something about that.
Right, but when you first released it, you didn't consider it, right? You're just like, well, no one's gonna just sleep.
People fall asleep in cars all the time.
All the time.
Crash.
Yeah.
At least our car doesn't crash. That's better. It's better not to crash. And if that guy falling asleep in a gasoline car, all the time.
For sure. Yeah.
And then crashing somebody.
Yeah.
In fact, the thing that really got me to say, man, we better get autopilot going and get it out there, was like a guy was in an early Tesla driving down the highway and he fell asleep and he ran over a cyclist and killed him. And it's like, if we had autopilot and run out of the, we might have fallen asleep, but at least we wouldn't run over that cyclist.
So how did you implement it? Like, did you just use cameras and
Yeah.
programmed with the system so that if it sees images, it slows down? And how much time do you give it? Like, is the person who's in control of it allowed to program it?
More aggressive driver, and you can say what speed you want it to. What speed is okay.
Do you have douchebag mode?
Well,
It just cuts people off.
Well, for lane changes, it's tricky because if you're in like LA, like unless you're pretty aggressive, it's hard to change lanes.
It's hard to decide. It's hard to be in Los Angeles. Here in LA.
Yeah.
If you want to hit that Santa Monica Boulevard, off freeway.
I mean, you got to be a little pushy.
You gotta be a little pushy. Yeah, especially if
Freeway.
you're angry.
Yes.
If you're angry,
Sometimes, yeah, I think people like overall are pretty nice in the highway, even in LA, but sometimes they're not. Probably.
kind of locked in together with this hive mind.
That'll help with traffic.
That'll help a lot.
Yeah.
How many of those can you put in there?
Nice thing about tunnels. Nice thing about tunnels is you can go 3D. So you can go any levels.
Right.
So
Until you hit hell.
yeah, but you can have 100 levels of tunnel. No problem.
Jesus Christ, I want to be on 99. I'm getting 99, negative 99 floors. Ooh.
This is one of the fundamental things people don't appreciate about tunnels. It's not like roads. The fundamental issue with roads is that you have a 2D transport system and a 3D living and workspace. So you have at least 12 buildings, or more concentrated work environments, and then you want to go into this like 2D transport system, which you need low density because cars are spaced out pretty far. And so obviously it's not going to work. You're going to have traffic guaranteed. But if you can go 3D on your transport system, then you can solve all traffic. You can either go 3D up with a flying car, or go 3D down with tunnels. You can have as many tunnel levels as you want. Arbitrarily relieve any amount of traffic. You can go further down with tunnels than you go up with buildings. You're 10,000 feet down if you want. I would recommend it.
What was that movie with, what's his face? Bradley Cooper, not Bradley Cooper. Christian, no, what the fuck's his name? Batman. Who's Batman? Christian Bale, where they fought dragons, him and Matthew McConaughey. They went down deep into the earth. How deep can you go?
Batman.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Batman for dragons.
No, it wasn't Batman. This was
Okay.
Christian Bale. Great fun.
Okay.
You saw that?
Okay.
Good.
I wouldn't recommend if you're like super far down.
Yeah,
Like
but
you have to visit
gets out, right?
Molten
Yeah.
visit giant ball of lava with a thin crust on the top, which we think is the surface, it's the thin crust. It's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's Earth. It's 10,000 feet tall.
Have you given any consideration whatsoever to the fact?
Haha. That's a troll situation.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You would like to think that because you're a super genius.
Haha.
But I, as a normal person, I know to get way down with me. And they really, really believe. They watch YouTube videos which go on uninterrupted and spew out a bunch of fucking fake facts very eloquently and articulately. And they really believe. These people really believe.
I mean, it works for them. Sure. Fine.
Weird though, right? At this age, where it's ludicrous mode in your car was 1.9 seconds, 0 to 60.
2.2.
2.2. Which one's 1.9? The
Oh,
Roadster?
the next generation Roadster. Standard edition.
Yeah.
That's the
Standard edition.
package.
What? Performance package?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you need?
We're rocket thrusters.
For real?
Yeah.
What are they gonna burn?
Nothing. High pressure, compressed air.
Oh, just air?
Cold gas thrusters.
Did you have to have air tanks, or are they
Yeah.
just sucking air out of them?
Yeah, it's like electric pump.
Oh.
Pump up to like 10,000 psi.
And how fast are we talking? 0 to 60.
How fast do you want to go?
I want to go.
We could make it
just take
fly.
I want to go back in time.
Make it fly.
Make it fly.
Sure.
Do you anticipate that as being when you're talking about the tunnels and then flying cars? Do you really think that's going to go?
It's too noisy and there's too much airflow. So the fundamental issue with flying cars, you get like one of those like toy roads, how loud those are, and how much air they blow. Now imagine if that's like 1,000 times heavier. It's not going to make your neighbors happy. Your neighbors are not going to be happy if you land a flying car in your backyard.
It'll be very
Helicopters or on your roof. They're just really going to be like, what the hell? That was annoying. You can't even. If you want a flying car, just put some wheels on a helicopter.
Is there a way around that? Like, what if they figure out some sort of magnetic technology, like all those Bob Lazar type characters were thinking it was part of the UFO technology they were doing in Area 51? Remember, didn't they have some thoughts about magnetics? No, bullshit.
Yes. Yeah, there's a fundamental momentum exchange with the air. So you must accelerate this so you have a mass gravity gravitational acceleration, and mass times your mass times gravity is equal to the mass you want to move. But if mg is greater than ma, you will go down. And if ma is greater than mg, you will go up. That's how it works.
There's just no way around it.
There is definitely no way around it.
There's no way to create some sort of magnetic something or another that allows you to.
Technically, yes. You could have a strong enough magnet. But that magnet would be so strong that it creates a lot of trouble.
Just suck cars up in your car. Just pick up.
I mean, you have to repel off of either material on the ground or in a really nutty situation off of Earth's gravitation and somehow make that incredibly light. But that magnet was so much destruction, better off.
So if there was some sort of magnet road, like you have two magnets, they repel each other, you get some sort of a magnet road that was below you, and you can travel on that magnet road. That would work.
Yes, you've got a magnet road.
A magnet road. That's ridiculous.
No, it would work. You can do that.
It is too, right?
I would not recommend it. I would still not recommend that. Not wise, I think. No, definitely not. That would cause a lot of trouble.
So you put some time and consideration into this, instead of like my foolishly random thoughts. So you think the tunnels will work?
Oh, it'll work for sure.
That'll work.
Yes.
And these tunnels that you're building right now, these are basically just like test versions of this ultimate idea that you have.
You know, it's just a hole in the ground.
Right. We played videos of it where
Just
your idea is that you're going to drop that hole in the ground, you sled on it, and the sled moves very fast, like 100 miles an hour plus.
Yeah, you can go real fast, as fast as you want. And then if you want to go long distances, you can just draw the air out of the tunnel, make sure it's real straight.
Drop the air.
Yeah, it's the back of the tunnel. Because and then depending on how fast we're going, you can use wheels, or you could use air bearings. If you want to go super fast.
So magnet road.
Yes, but underground magnet roads.
Underground magnet.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to really create a lot of trouble because those metal things.
So magnet road's the way to go, just underground.
If you want to go really fast underground, you'd be in a vacuum tunnel.
Vacuum tunnel.
Advanced levitation in a vacuum tunnel. But no, I would not recommend putting any exhaust gas in the tunnel.
Oh, okay. So
Then you're going to pump it out.
Right, you have to pump it out, and you probably have a limited amount of air in the first place. How much can you breathe? You have to pump oxygen into these cubicles.
No, you have to get a pressurized pod. It'd be like a little mini underground spaceship, basically.
Like an airplane. Because you have air in an airplane, it's not getting new air in.
It is.
It is?
Yes.
It's like a little hole.
Yeah, that pump.
Really?
Yeah.
So it gets it from the outside?
Yes. And it's like the air is airplanes have it easy because like essentially they're pretty leaky. As long as the air pump is working at a distance, we have backup pumps.
Oh.
So they're like 3 pumps or 4 pumps or something. And then there's it exhausts through the outflow valve and through whatever seals are not sealed quite right. Usually the door doesn't seal quite right in the plane. There's a bit of leakage around the door. And the pumps.
Now, have you ever looked at planes and gone, I can fix it? I just don't have time to make
a design for a plane.
You do? Better design? Have you talked about this?
We've talked to friends.
Friends? I'm your friend. You can tell me. What do you got? What's going on?
Well, I mean, the exciting thing to
If we're going to take off and landing, me, no need for a run to shoot up, straight in the air. How would you do that? They do that on some military aircrafts, correct?
Yes. The trick is that you have to transition to level flight, and then the thing that you use for vertical takeoff landing is not suitable for high-speed flight.
So you have 2 different systems.
What about this quite a lot? Quite a lot. The interesting thing about an electric plane is that you want to go as high as possible. You need a certain energy density battery coming because you have to overcome gravitational potential energy. Once you overcome gravitational potential energy and you're at a high altitude, the energy you use in cruise is very low. And then you can recapture a large part of your gravitational potential energy on the way down. So you really don't need any kind of reserve fuel. So you have the energy of flying to gravitational potential energy. This is a lot of energy. So once you get high, the way to think about planes is a force balance. So a force balance. So a plane that is not accelerating is a neutral force balance. You have the force of gravity, lift force, wings. Then you've got the force of the thrusting device, propeller, turbine, whatever it is. And then you've got the resistance force in the air. The higher you go, the lower the air resistance is. Air density drops exponentially, but drag increases with the square. An exponential beats a square. the higher you go, the faster you go for the same amount of energy. And at a certain altitude, you can go supersonic with less energy per mile, quite a lot less energy per mile than an aircraft at 35,000 feet, because it's just a force balance. It makes sense, though.
No, I'm sure it does. Now, when you think about this new idea of designing, when you have this idea about improving planes, are you going to bring this to somebody? Or you just chuck
Well, I
this
have a lot of
around?
my planes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do what you do now, but if you keep coming up with these, but it's got to be hard to pawn these off on someone else either. And hey, go do a good job with this vertical takeoff and landing system that I want to implement to regular planes.
The airplane and electric everything isn't necessary right now. Electric cars,
We need
solar
some
energy is important. Stationary storage of energy is important. These things are much more important than creating electric supersonic VTOL. Also, planes naturally, you really want that gravitational energy density for an aircraft at this particular time. So, it's important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. That's why electric cars matters, whether electric cars happen sooner or later. So we're really playing a crazy game here with the atmosphere, the oceans. We're taking vast amounts of carbon deep underground and putting this in the atmosphere. This is crazy. We should not do this. It's very dangerous. So we should accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. I mean, this bizarre thing is that obviously we're going to run out of oil in the long term. There's only so much oil we can mine and burn. It's tautological. We must have a sustainable energy transport and energy infrastructure in the long term. So we know that's the end point. We know that. So why run this crazy experiment where we take trillions of tons of carbon from underground? This is the dumbest experiment in human history. Why are we doing this? It's crazy.
Do you think this is a product of momentum? We started off doing this when it was just a few engines, a few 100 million gallons of fuel, the whole world, not that big of a deal. And then slowly but surely over a century, it got out of control. And now it's not just our fuel, but it's also the fossil fuels are involved in so many different electronics, so many different items that people buy. It's just this constant desire for fossil fuels, constant need for oil, without consideration of the sustainability.
The things like oil, coal, gas, it's the easy money. It's easy money. So,
have you heard about clean coal? It's been tweeting. Clean coal.
Well, it's very difficult to put that CO2 back in the ground. It doesn't like being in solid form. It takes a lot of energy.
Like that, like some sort of a filter, giant building-sized filter, sucks carbon out of the atmosphere. Is that possible?
No, it's not possible. No, it's not fun. No, we're not fun. I mean, this is quite a complex question. We're really just, the more carbon we take out of the ground and out to the atmosphere, and a lot of it gets emitted into the oceans, the more dangerous it is. Like, I don't think right now, I think we're okay right now. Probably even add some more, but the momentum towards sustainable energy is too slow. Like, there's a vast base of industry, vast transportation system like this. There's 2.5 million cars and trucks there. So, and the new car truck production, if it was 100% electric, that's only about 100 million per year. So it would take, if you could snap your fingers and instantly to make all old cars and trucks electric, it would still take 25 years to change the physical base to it. Makes sense, because how long does a car truck last before it goes into the junkyard and gets crushed?
Is there a way to accelerate that process? Like some sort of subsidies or some encouragement from the government, financially?
Well, the thing that is going on right now is that there's an inherent subsidy in any oil production device. Any power plant or car is fundamentally consuming the carbon capacity of the ocean's atmosphere, which is the atmosphere. So like you can say, okay, there's a certain probability of something bad happening past a certain carbon concentration in the atmosphere. And so there's some uncertain number where too much carbon in the atmosphere is overheat, oceans warm up, ice caps melt, ocean real estate becomes a lot less valuable for water. And it's not clear what that number is, but it's definitely a scientist's rule. It's really quite. The scientific consensus is overwhelming. Overwhelming. I mean, I don't know any serious scientists, actually zero, completely zero, who don't think that we will have had a serious climate risk we're facing. So there's fundamentally a subsidy occurring with every fossil fuel burning thing, power plants, aircraft, or frankly even rockets. Rockets use them. But there's just, with rockets, there's just no other way to get to orbit, unfortunately. So that's the only way. With cars, there's definitely a better way with electric cars. And to generate the energy, do so with photovoltaics, which we've got a giant thermonuclear reactor in the sky called the sun. It's great. It shows up every day. Very reliable. So if you can generate energy from solar panels stored with batteries, have energy 24 hours a day. And then you can send it to the poles, to the north, high voltage lines. Also the northern parts of the world do have a lot of hydropower as well. Anyway, all fossil fuel powered things have an inherent subsidy, which is their consumption of the carbon capacity of the atmosphere. So, people tend to think like, why should electric vehicles have a subsidy, but they're not taking into account that all fossil fuel burning vehicles fundamentally are subsidized by the cost, the environmental cost to own. But nobody's paying for it. We are going to pay for it. Future will pay for it. It's just not paid for it.
And what is the bottleneck in regards to electric cars and trucks and things like that? Is it battery capacity?
Yeah, the scale up production make it better than gasoline or diesel cars.
Make it more efficient in terms of the distance you can travel.
Yeah, you're going to be able to go far enough, recharge fast.
Your Roadster, you're anticipating 600 miles, is that correct?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
What's that?
600 miles.
Is that right now? Like, have you driven on 600 miles now?
No, we can totally make one right now that goes 600 miles. The thing is too expensive. So, like the car's got a more speed. Well, just have a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Right, versus what do you have now?
330. That's finding
30
pretty much.
mile range. What is that in terms of kilowatts?
Well, that would be for Model S 100 kilowatt hour pack. Maybe about 335. There's some people have hyper miled it to 500 miles.
Hyper mile,
Yeah, just like go on
45 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, I like 30 miles an hour or something on my little road. Pump the tires up really well, so the surface. You can go for a long time. But you like definitely do 300 miles.
Is there
This is fine for most people Usually 200 or 250 miles is fine. 300 miles is you're starting to.
Is there any possibility that you can use solar power one day, especially in Los Angeles? I mean, as you said about that giant nuclear reactor, a million times bigger than Earth, that's floating in the sky. Is it possible that one day you'll be able to just power all these cars just on solar power? I mean, we don't ever have cloudy days. If we do, there's 3 of them.
Well, the service of a car is without making the car like really lucky or having some like a G-Wagon. Yeah, like and just like having like a lot of steps where like maybe like solar panels fold out or something like your E-Class.
That's what we needed.
The E-Type?
Yeah, the Jaguar E-Type with a giant long hood that could be a giant solar panel.
What we came to is I did want to have this like unfolding solar panel thing. They press a button and it would just like unfold these solar panels and like recharge your car in the parking lot. Yeah, we could do that, but I think it's probably better to just put that on your roof.
Right.
And then it's going to just be facing this.
On the roof, Fisker, Karma, new generation for, I believe it was only for the radio. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could like recharge like 2 miles a day.
Did you laugh when they started blowing up when they hit the water? Do you remember what happened?
They got money.
Yeah, when they had a dealership
oh yeah,
Fisker Karmas were parked.
Was it like that with a flood in Jersey?
Yes. When the hurricane came in, they got overwhelmed with water and they all sort of exploded. This fucking great video of it. Did you watch the video?
I didn't watch the video, but I did see just like some picture of the actual
naked, lubed up. Watched that video, laughed my ass off. They all blew up. They got wet and they blew up. That's not good.
Yeah, we made our battery waterproof so that doesn't happen.
Smart
actually.
Move.
Yeah, there was a guy in Kazakhstan that I think it was Kazakhstan that he just boated through a tunnel, underwater tunnel, like a flooded tunnel, and just floated through the tunnel and he steered around the other cars. We're like,
that's amazing.
It's on the internet.
What happens if your car gets a little sideways, like if you're driving in snow? Like what if your autopilot is on and you're in like Denver and it snows out? Your car gets a little sideways. Does it correct itself?
Oh yeah, it's got great traction control.
Does it know how to like correct? Do you know how like your ass end kicks out, you know how to counter steer?
Oh yeah, no, it's really good.
It knows how to do it?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So like if you're going sideways, it knows how to correct itself?
Generally, it won't go sideways.
It won't.
Yeah.
Why not?
It will correct itself before it goes sideways.
Even in black guys?
Yeah, usually there's videos where you can see the car, the traction control system is very good. It makes you feel like Superman. It's great. I feel like you can, like, it will make you feel like it's an incredible driver.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Now, how do you program it?
We do our testing on like an ice lake in Sweden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Norway and Canada and a few other places.
Porsche does a lot of that too.
New Zealand as well.
They do some of their driver training school on these frozen surfaces. So you're just, the car's going sideways, whether you like it or not. You kind of slide into corners.
Yeah. But electric cars have really great traction control because the reaction time is so fast.
Right.
So the gasoline car, you've got a lot of latency. It takes a while for the engine to react. For electric motors, radically precise. So you imagine you had like a printer or something. You wouldn't have a gasoline engine printer. That would be pretty weird. Or like a surgical device. It's going to be an electric motor on the surgical device printer. Gasoline engines can be just chugging away. You can turn on and off traction. You can have within like inches of getting on it. Like this, they drive a patch bike, so they'll turn traction off and then turn it on a couple inches right after this. Like a full patch bikes. Because in the frame of the electric motor, you're moving incredibly slowly. You're like a snake, it's super snail. Because it can see at 1,000 frames a second. And so it's like 1 Mississippi. It just automatically thinks 1,000 times.
So it's realized that your wheels are not getting traction. It understands there's some slippery surface that you're driving on,
Yes.
and it makes adjustments in real time.
Yes. In milliseconds.
That would be so much safer than regular car.
Yes. It is.
Fuck motors, fuck regular motors.
The S, X, and 3 have the most probability of injury of any cars ever tested by the US government. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty crazy. Like people still sue us. Like they'll have like some accident at 60 miles an hour where they like twisted an ankle and they sue. Like they'd be dead in another car. They still sue us.
That's to be expected.
It is to be expected.
Do you take that into account of like the same sort of fatalistic people do?
So yeah, I have a lot of respect for the justice system. Judges are very smart, and they see it. So far, I've found judges to be very good at justice because I like and juries are good too. Like they're actually quite good. People. You read about like occasional errors in the justice system. Let me tell you, most of the time, very good. And like the guy mentioned that he fell asleep in the car. He rode over a cyclist, and that was what encouraged me to get autopilot out as soon as possible. Yes, I'm not kidding. He blamed it on the new car smell.
What?
Yes.
He blamed him falling asleep on your new car smell. Someone is
this is a real thing that happened.
Someone is a lawyer that thought that through from his laptop before he wrote that up.
Yes, he got a lawyer and he sued us, and the judge was like, "This is crazy. Stop bothering me." No.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank God this judge went through the brain.
I tell you, judges are very good.
Some of them. What about that judge that sent those boys up the river in Pennsylvania, selling those kids out? You know about that story? Yeah. The judge was selling young boys to prisons. He was literally under bribes.
Was this an elected judge or? Some people they have judges like actually a politician.
No, he's an elected judge. This is a very famous story. He's in jail right now, I think, for the rest of his life. And he put away, he would take a young boy who would do something like steal something from a store, and he would put him in detention for 5 years, something ridiculously egregious. And they investigated his history, and they found that he was literally being paid off. Was it by private prisons? Is that what the deal was? There was some sort of but anyway, this judges, 2 judges? Yeah. And who was paying them? Someone, it was proven to the point where they're in jail now, that someone was paying them to put more acids in the seats in these private prisons.
Yes. That judge is in prison. Yes. But if you think perhaps the justice system consists entirely of judges like that, I want to assure you this is not the case. The vast majority of judges are very good. I agree. And they care about justice. And they could have made a lot more money if they wanted to be a trial lawyer. And instead they cared about justice and they made less money because they care about justice. And that's why they're judges.
I feel that same way about police officers. I feel like there's so many interactions with so many different people with police officers that the very few that stand out that are horrific, we tend to look at that like this is evidence that police are all corrupt. And I think that's crazy.
Most police are very honest. Yes. Military personnel that I know are very honorable, ethical people.
Yes.
They're much more honorable, ethical than the average person. That's my impression.
That's my impression as well.
And that's not to suggest that we can complacent and assume everyone's honest and ethical. And obviously, if somebody is given a trusted place in society, such as being a police officer or a judge, and they are corrupt, we must be extra vigilant in such situations to take action. But we should not think that this is somehow poorly descriptive of that profession.
I couldn't agree more. I think there's also an issue with one of the things that happens with police officers, prosecutors, and anyone that's trying to convict someone or arrest someone is that it becomes a game. And in games, people want to win.
Yeah.
Sometimes people cheat.
Yes. Yes. I mean, if you're a prosecutor, you should not always want to win. There are times when you should okay, I should not want to win this case. And then there's a pass in that case. Sometimes people want to win too, which that is true. I think also it becomes tough if you're like a district attorney. You tend to sort of see a lot of criminals, and then your view of the world can get negative. Get a negative view of the world because you're just interacting with a lot of criminals, and actually most of society is not consistent with this.
Right.
And I had to have this conversation as district attorney. I was like, man, this sometimes seems pretty dark because, man, there's some terrible human beings out there. He was like, yep. He was like dealing with some case which consisted of a couple of old ladies that would run people over somehow for insurance money. It was rough. Wow, that's pretty rough. It's like hard to maintain faith in humanity if you're a district attorney. But, it's only a few percent of society that are actually bad, and then if you go to the worst, say 0.1% of society, worse than 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million. Yeah. Like, how bad is the millionth worst person in the United States? Pretty damn bad. Like, damn evil. But, the millionth, or 1 in a million of evil is so evil, they will be not even conceived. But there's 330 million people in the United States, so that's 330 people out there somewhere. But on the same token, there's also 330 people who are incredible angels and unbelievably good human beings.
Yeah.
On the other side.
But because of our fear of danger, our thoughts tend to gravitate towards the worst case scenario.
Yes. And
we want to frame that. And that's one of the real problems with prejudice. Whether it's prejudice towards different minorities or prejudice towards police officers or anything. So you want to look at the worst case scenario and say, this is an example of what this is all about. You see that even with people, how they frame genders. Some men frame women like that. They get ripped off by a few women and they decide all women are evil. Some women get fucked over by a few men, all men are shit. And this is very toxic. And it's also a very unbalanced way of viewing the world, and it's very emotionally based, and it's based on your own experience, your own anecdotal experience. And it can be very influential to the people around you, and it's a dangerous way, it's a dangerous thought process and pattern to promote.
It is very dangerous. I really think, people should give other people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're good until proven otherwise. And really, most people are actually pretty good.
They're just interacting with each other constantly.
Yeah.
We have to be better than we think we are.
Yes,
there's no other way.
I mean, these weapons, but how many times nobody's trying to murder you?
Nobody can.
Yes, nobody's
Now
the sword's right there.
Fake flamethrower here.
Exactly.
Not a flamethrower. Now we got a real problem. I'm gonna put it on that side too, for the guests.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, man, if I see something that fucked up, it's right there.
Liven things up for sure. Guarantees make any party better.
Yeah. Well, that's the armed civilization theory, right? The armed community is a safe and polite community. Yeah, Texas, it's kind of true.
Yeah, I mean,
people in Texas are super polite. Everything got.
Yes. Don't make somebody angry. Yeah, don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not a good move.
Yeah.
Piss people off and everybody can have a gun.
Yeah.
Or else just let that guy get in your leg.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a big test site in Central Texas near Waco.
Oh,
yeah, SpaceX in McGregor.
That's close to where Ted Nugent lives. Shout out to Ted Nugent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of fire and loud explosions and things. They're cool with it.
They don't give a fuck out there.
They're very supportive.
Yeah, you can buy fireworks where kids go to school.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, but it's free.
It's free.
There's something about
Exactly.
Texas that's very enticing because of that. It is dangerous, but it's also free.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like Texas.
Well, I prefer it over places that are more restrictive, but more liberal, because you could always be liberal. But just because things are free, and just because you have a certain amount of right-wing type characters, it doesn't mean you have to be that way. And honestly, there's a lot of those people who are fucking open-minded and do whatever you want to do.
Right.
There's no problem there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my hope right now with the way we're able to communicate with each other today and how radically different it is than generations past, is that we all, just the dust settles, we all realize, like what you were saying, that most people
are good.
The vast majority.
Yeah.
We can help that. No shrooms.
They're delicious.
Yeah, right. They're good for you too.
Yeah.
All of them. All kinds of them. What do you see in terms of when you think about the future of your companies? What do you see as like bottlenecks?
Sure.
That are holding back innovation? Is it regulatory commissions and people that don't understand the technology that are influencing policy? Like what could potentially be holding you guys back? Is there anything that you would change?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish politicians were better at science. That would help a lot.
That's a problem.
Yes.
There's no incentive for them to be good at science.
There isn't. Actually, they're pretty good at science in China, I have to say. The mayor of Beijing is an environmental engineering degree, and the deputy mayor is a physics degree, and the mayor of Shanghai is really smart.
If you're up on technology, what do you think about this government policy of stopping use of Huawei phones? And there's something about the worry about spying. From what I understand from real tech people, they think it's horseshit.
Oh,
Like phones.
I don't know.
Like the government say, don't buy Huawei phones. Are you up on that at all? No. Should we just ban them?
Well, I think, I guess if you have like top secret stuff, then you want to be pretty careful about what hardware you use. But like most people do not have top secret stuff.
Right.
Like nobody really cares what you watch.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
it's like nobody actually cares. So
And if they do, that's kind of on them.
it's like national spy agencies do not give a rat's ass what report you watch. They do not care. So, like, what secrets does a national spy agency have to learn from the average citizen? I have nothing.
Well, that's the argument against the narrative. And the argument by a lot of these tech people is that the real concern is that these companies like Huawei are innovating at a radical pace. And they're trying to stop them from integrating into our culture and letting this. Like right now, they're the number 2 cell phone manufacturer in the world. Okay. Samsung's number 1, Huawei is number 2, Apple's now number 3. They surpassed Apple's number 2. And the idea is that this has all taken place without them having any foothold whatsoever in America. There's no carriers that have their phones. You have to buy their phones unlocked through some sort of third party. And then So and the worry is, that these are somehow controlled by the Chinese government. The communist Chinese government is going to distribute these phones. And I don't know if the worry is economic influence, that they'll have too much power. I don't know what it is. Are you paying attention on any of this? Not really,
I don't think we should worry too much about Huawei phones. Maybe our national security agencies should have Huawei phones. Maybe that's a question mark. But I think for the average citizen, this doesn't matter. Pretty sure. not care about the goings on of them.
Is there a time where you think that there will be no security, where it will be impossible to hold back information, that whatever bottleneck we'll let go, we're gonna give in. And whatever bottleneck between privacy and ultimate innovation will have to be bridged in order for us to achieve the next level of technological proficiency that we're just trying to abandon. And there'll be no security, no privacy.
I mean, do people want privacy because they see everything on the internet?
Well, right now they're confused, but when you're talking about your Neuralink and this idea that one day we are going to be able to share information, we're going to be some sort of a thing that symbiotically connected.
Yeah, I think we really need to worry about security in that situation.
And
for sure, that's like a security requirement.
Sure.
Yeah.
But also, what we will be will be so much different. Our concerns about money, about status, about all these things will seemingly go by the wayside if we really become enlightened. If we really become artificially enlightened by some sort of an AI interface where we have this symbiotic relationship with some new internet type connection to information. What happens then? What is important? What is not important? Is privacy important when we're all gods?
I mean, I think the things that we think are important to keep private right now,
Right.
Probably will not think are
Shame,
important.
right? Information, right? What do you hide? Emotions. Yeah. What do we hide?
I mean, I think like it's like embarrassing stuff.
Right. Embarrassing stuff.
But there's actually like not that much that's kept private that is actually relevant.
Right.
That people actually care about. I think other people care about. It seems like others don't.
Well, some people care about it, but then it gets weird when it gets exposed, like Jennifer Lawrence, when those naked pictures of her got exposed. Like, I think in some ways people like to be on. They're really, it's like, oh, she's just a person, just a girl who likes sex and is just alive as a friend, sends them messages, and now you get to look in.
She seems to be doing okay.
She's a person. She's just you and me, and it's the same thing. She's just in some weird place where she's on a 35-foot tall screen, music playing every time she talks.
Yeah, she's not happy about it, but she's really doing fine.
But once this interface is fully realized, where we really do become something far more powerful in terms of our cognitive ability, our ability to understand irrational thoughts and mitigate them, and then we're all connected in some sort of an insane way. What are our thoughts on wealth? Our thoughts on social status? Like, how many of those just evaporate in our need for privacy? Maybe our need for privacy would be the ultimate bottleneck that we'll have to surpass.
I think the things that we think are important now will not be important, but there will be things that are.
What was the more important
things? Some more ideas, potentially. I don't think Darwin's going away.
Right.
Darwin's going to be there. Darwin will be there forever.
Forever. Yeah.
It'll just be a different arena.
Digital.
Arena. Darwin's not going away.
What keeps you up at night?
It's quite hard to run companies.
Yeah.
Especially car companies.
Car business is the hardest one of all the things you do.
Yes.
Because it's consumer-oriented business as opposed to SpaceX.
Not that SpaceX is all over the park. But a car company, it's very difficult to keep a car company alive. It's very difficult to, there's only 2 car companies in the history of American car companies that have gone bankrupt. It's Ford and Tesla.
Yeah, Ford rolled out that crazy storm, man. But the only one
That's going to go to
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the skin of the teeth. That is interesting, right?
Same with Tesla. Barely survived.
How close did you get to phone?
Very close. We 2008 is not a good time to be a car company, especially a startup car company, especially an electric car company. Squared.
This is when you have those cool roadsters with the top,
Yeah.
with the target top.
Yeah, like it's a highly modified lease chassis. The body was all completely different. That was a super dumb strategy that we actually did.
What was it done?
Based on two false premises. One false premise was that we were able to cheaply convert the Lotus Elise and use that as a car platform, and that we would be able to use technology from the silicon company for lazy propulsion with the electric drivetrain. Battery is lazy propulsion technology did not work in production, and we ended up using none of it in a long time. We used everything. And then once you add a battery pack, an electric motor to the car, it got heavier, heavier, validated the entire structure, the mesh structure, everything was to be redone. Nothing. I think it had less than 7% of the parts were common,
Including tires and wheels, bolts, brakes,
yep, even
steering wheel. See,
the steering wheel was, I think the steering wheel was almost the same. That's the windscreen. Windscreen. No, I think the windscreen is the same. Yes, I think the big wheel was
less than 7%. So that's right. Basically,
every body panel was different. The entire structure was different. We used that HVAC system, the air conditioner, which was well-built air conditioner, or multiple fans. So we needed something that was electric, and AC compressor.
and all that takes away from the battery life as well, right?
Yeah, we needed a small, highly efficient air conditioning system that fit in a tiny car and was electrically powered, not belt. It was very difficult.
How much of those were?
Those cars.
The Roadster.
It's still very light. And the British version, 2650 to 2750.
And what was the weight distribution?
It was about 50. Well, there were different versions. So it was about 55 in the rear. It was rear bias.
Right, but not bad. Like considering like a 911, which is like one of the most popular sports cars of all time, heavy rear end bias.
Well, I mean, yeah, the 911, like the joke, it's like the national joke. Despite Newton not being on their side,
Yeah.
if you're fighting Newton, it's very difficult.
Well,
It's like you've got this. The moments of inertia on a 911 don't make any sense.
they do once you understand them. Once you understand,
You don't want to hang the engine off the ass. This is not a wide move.
you don't want to let up on the gas when you're in the car.
The problem with something that's with the engine is mounted on the rear axle or off the rear axle towards the rear, is that your whole moment of inertia is automatically screwed. It's unsolvable. You're screwed. Whole moment of inertia is you're screwed.
Right.
Like essentially, if you spun the car like a top, that's your whole moment of inertia. We're just from someone swearing.
Really?
Yes.
You tell that friend you were fucking yourself. Who told you not to swear?
Friend.
That's not a good friend.
Yes.
Thank
I would swear.
you. Realize you're fucking Elon Musk. Do whatever you want, man. If you ever get confused, call me.
I swear in private. Swear up a storm.
Just say frickin'. It's a fun way. It's like old house moms. Wives and shit that have children. It's a frickin' thing.
Yeah. But anyway, like the Porsche, it's kind of incredible how well Porsche handles given that its physics,
Yes.
moments of inertia, are so messed up. To actually still make it work well is incredible.
Well, if you know how to turn into the corner, once you get used to the feeling of it, there's actually benefits to it. You know, there are some benefits.
I enjoy the car I had before Tesla was a 911.
Oh, okay.
That was
997 or 6?
Yeah.
997.
Yeah.
Great car, man.
Yeah, I mean, particularly when you didn't have the turbo lag, that was great.
Yeah.
That was really great. The turbo lag was It's like, before, like, phone at home, call your mom.
The older one,
Like, about an hour later, the car accelerates.
and super dangerous too, because the real wheels start spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something fun about it though, like feeling that rear weight kicking around. And again, it's not efficient.
I could feel to it.
Yeah.
I could.
That's what I was talking about earlier about that little car that I have, the '93 911. It's just it's not fast. It's not the best engine car, but it's more satisfying than any other car I have because it's so mechanical. It's like everything about it, like crackles, bumps. It gives you all this feedback, and I take it to the comedy store because when I get there, I feel like my brain is just popping and it's on fire. And it's like a strategy for me now that I really stopped driving other cars there. I drive that car there just for the brain juice, just for the interaction.
So you should try Model S P100D.
I'll try
It'll blow your mind out of your skull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what to order.
I'll order that I drive.
Okay. I'll get the car you drive. Okay.
It will blow your mind
How
out of
far
your
can I
skull.
drive? How far can I drive? How far
About 300 miles.
That's good. For LA regular days.
You'll never notice the battery.
Never. How hard is it to get like one of them crazy plugs installed in your house? Is that difficult?
No, it's super easy. It's like it's like a dryer plug. It's like a dryer outlet.
Didn't you come up with some crazy tiles for your roof that are solar paneled?
Yeah. I have it on my roof right now, actually. I'm just trying it out. It's like the thing is, it takes a while to like test roof stuff because roofs have to last a long time.
Right.
So like you want your roof to last like 30 years.
Over a regular roof?
Now, so there's two versions. There's like the solar panels on a roof. So like depends on whether your roof's new or old. So if your roof's new, you don't want to replace the roof. You put like solar panels on it.
Right.
So that's like retrofit, and they were trying to make the retrofit house look nice. But then the new product coming out with is if you have a roof that's either you're building a house or you're gonna replace your roof anyway, then make the tiles have solar cells embedded in the tiles, and then it's quite a tricky thing because you want to not see the solar cell behind the glass tile, so you have to really work with the glass and the various coatings and layers so that you don't see the solar cell behind the glass. Otherwise, it doesn't look right.
Right.
So it's really tricky.
There it is. Tim put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good.
See,
Is there a
you see, like if you look closely, see if you zoom in, right, you can see the cell. But if you zoom out, you don't see the cell.
right? Well, it looks cool
See?
though.
Like
Yeah.
that's hard. That's really hard because you have to sunlight go through.
Right.
When it gets reflected back out, it doesn't. It hides the fact that this is.
Now, are those available to the consumer right now?
Well, we have. I think
Those on that roof right there?
Yes.
That's amazing. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
I like
That one's hard.
Oh, so you get that kind of fake Spanish looking thing. I like
That's
that.
French slate.
That's white people in Connecticut smoking pipes. Look at that one.
Yeah.
That's badass, dude. So
Those
now,
will actually work.
I believe you. So the solar panels that are on that house that you just looked at, is that sufficient to power the entire home?
It depends on your energy, on how efficient. Yeah. So, generally, yes. I would say it's probably for most. It's going to vary, but anywhere from more than you need to maybe half. Like call it half to 1.5 of the energy that you need, depending on how much roof you have to living space
And how ridiculous your TV?
TV is no problem. Air conditioning is the problem. If you have an efficient air conditioner and you don't, and depending on how, like, are you air conditioning rooms when they don't need to be air conditioned, which is very common because it's way in the neck. It's like programming VCR. It's like, it's just a blinking 12. So people just like, the hell with that. I'm just going to make this temperature all day long.
Right. They don't have a smart home where if you're in the room, it stays cool.
Yeah, it should predict when you're going to be home, and then cool the room that you're likely to use with a little bit of intelligence. We're not talking about like genius home here. We're just talking like elementary, basic stuff. like if you could hook that into the car, as you're coming home, there's no point cooling the home, keeping the home really cool. You're not there. Right. You can tell you're coming home, so look the right temperature.
Do you have an app there that works with your solar panels or anything like that?
Yeah, we do. But we need to look into air conditioning too. Really big air conditioning.
Have you thought about creating an air conditioning system? True question. Okay, let's just let it go. We'll move on to the next thing.
That would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, I would say. Radiant heating, all that. Good ideas. Now, when you think about the efficiency of these homes and you think about implementing solar power and battery power, and is there anything else that people are missing? Is there any other, like, I just saw a smartwatch that is powered by the heat of the human body. Some new technology.
Is able to fully power that way?
I don't know if it's fully or if it's like this watch right here. This is a Casio.
Okay.
It's called a ProTech, and it's like an outdoors watch, and it's solar powered.
Okay.
And so it has the ability to operate for a certain amount of time on solar.
Yeah.
So if you have it exposed, it can function for a certain amount of time on solar.
Yeah. Well, like there's the self-winding watches where it's just got a weight in the watch, and as you move your wrist, the weight moves from one side to the other, and it winds the watch up. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that like Rolex is that it's all done mechanically. There's no batteries in it. There's no nothing.
Yeah, you could do the same thing. Create a little charger that's based on wrist movement. It really depends on how much energy you purchase.
You know what's fucked up about that though? We accept a certain amount of like fuckery with those watches. Like I brought my watch. I have a Rolex that my friend Lorenzo gave me, and I brought it to the watch store, and I said, "This thing's always fast." I said, "It's always like after a couple months, it's like 5 minutes fast." And they go, "Yeah." They go, "Yeah, really? It's just what it does." And I go, "Hold on." I go, "So you're telling me that it just is always going to be fast?" And he's like, "Yeah. It's just like every few months you got to like reset it."
Seems like they should recalibrate that thing.
They can't. They tried. They say every few months. Whether it's 4 months or 5 months or 6 months, it's going to be a couple minutes fast.
Okay, it seems like they should really recalibrate that, because if it's always fast, you can just delete those minutes.
You need to fucking kick down the door at Rolex. You bitches are lazy.
It's kind of amazing that you can keep time mechanically on a wristwatch. These tiny little gears.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole luxury watch market is fascinating. I'm not that involved in terms like I don't buy them. I bought them as gifts. I don't buy them for myself. But when I look at them online, there's $1 million watches out there now. They're like, they have like little rotating moons and stars, and they live like, look at this thing. How much is that one, Jamie? These are fucking preposterous.
I like gears.
I love them.
I think they're beautiful.
But there's some of these people that are just taking it right in the ass. They're buying these watches for like $750,000. Like, that's a Timex, son. Nobody knows. It's not any better than some Casio that you can just buy online. Like, look at that. Well, here's the thing. If you're a person that doesn't just want to know the time, you want craftsmanship, you want some artisan's touch, you want innovation in terms of like a person figuring out how gears and cogs all line up perfectly to every time it turns over, it's basically a second. That's just, there's art to that.
I agree.
It's not just telling time. I like this watch a lot, but if you got hit by a rock, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just a watch. It's a mass-produced thing that runs on some quartz battery. But those things, there's art to that.
No, I agree. It's beautiful.
Yeah. There's something amazing about it. It's like, because it represents the human creativity. It's not just electronic innovation. There's something. There's a person's working.
Yes.
You know, watch.
Yeah, I used to have a watch.
What happened?
My phone tells the time.
So, point. What if you lose your phone? Wait, hold on. Sure. Let me guess. You are a case guy.
That's right. living on the edge. Living on the edge without a
Neil deGrasse
case.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was in here last week. I marveled at his ability to get through life without a case.
That's right.
You know, he takes his phone and he flips it between his fingers like a soldier would do with his rifle.
Really?
He just rolls that shit in between his fingers.
Okay.
Marvelous.
Wow.
He says that's the reason why they do it. He said, when you look at someone who has a rifle, why would they do that? Why would they flip it around like that? Right. It goes to drop down. They catch it quicker. That's what he does with his phone. He's just flipping his phone around all the time. I was hoping it holds joints.
Does it do anything? It's open.
Just
The host. You can store things in there.
Try to get a joint. One. It seems pretentious. Yeah. That's the idea. I bought it when I was in Mexico because I figured it would be good size.
So is that a joint? Or is it a cigar?
No,
Okay.
it's marijuana inside of tobacco.
Okay. So it's like posh, tobacco
Yeah.
posh.
You ever had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
Probably can't because stuff.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's all legal. How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things? It's tobacco and marijuana. The combination of tobacco and marijuana is wonderful. First turned on to it by Charlie Murphy and then reignited by Dave Chappelle.
Exactly.
Perfect. Balances it out.
Like alcohol's a drug. It's been grandfathered in.
Well, it's not just a drug. It's a drug that gets a bad rap. Because you just have a little, it's great.
Fine.
Yeah, a little sip here and there, and just your inhibitions are relaxed and shows your true self, and hopefully you're more joyous and friendly and happy. Worries people that can't handle it, like they're worried about people that can't handle cars that can go 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Anything. Have you ever considered something that, like, imagine if one day everyone has a car that's on the same, at least technological standard as one of your cars, and everyone agrees that the smart thing to do is not just to have bumpers, but to perhaps have some sort of a magnetic repellent device, some electromagnetic field around the cars, and as cars come close to each other, they automatically, radically decelerate because of magnets or something.
Well, I mean, our cars brake automatically.
Brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they see things.
Yes.
Look like a physical barrier.
Well, the wheels work pretty well.
The wheels.
Yeah, work pretty well. Decelerated to this.
Is there a concern that one day all your cars will be on the road and then there'll still be regular people with regular cars 20, 30 years from now that'll get in the mix and be the main problem?
Yeah, I think it would be sort of like there was a time of transition where there were horses and gasoline cars that were at the same time. It's been pretty weird. Oh, weird. Yeah. And horses were tricky. Back when Manhattan had like 300,000 horses. They're like, the horse lives 15 years. You have 20,000 horses. You're done. Probably dead every day. Or every year, I should say. Every year, 20,000 horses. If it's 300,000 horses, your life's good.
Back in the gangs in New York days. That movie.
Yeah. It's a lot of dead horses. Then you need a dead horse to move the horse.
Right.
Probably get pretty freaked out.
You think they know what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be like pretty weird.
No, I would
Why am
imagine.
I dragging this dead, horse around? I'm a horse.
Do you ever stop and think about your role in civilization? Do you ever stop and think about your role in culture? Because me as a person who never met you until today, I think of you. I've always thought of you as being this weirdo, super inventor dude who just somehow or another keeps coming up with new shit. But there's not a lot of you out there. Like, everybody else seems to be I mean, obviously, you make a lot of money. There's a lot of people who make a lot of money. Like that clock.
Yeah. It's really great. It's great.
Yeah, you want one? Which one?
Sure.
Done.
Nothing weird.
Oh, this is the coolest. It's TGT promotion. What is this? TGT Studios? TGT Studios? Yeah. Gentlemen, it's one here. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's letting us pull the license.
Well, get ready for another one.
All right.
I'm sending it your way. Want a werewolf too? Yeah.
All right.
I'll take one. Want a werewolf? 1 o'clock coming up. Do you think about your role in the culture? Because me as a person who never met you until today. All right, I've always looked at you and like, wow, like, how does this guy just keep inventing shit? Like, how do you keep coming up with all these new devices? And what do you ever consider how unusual? Like, I had a dream once that there was a million Teslas instead of like one Tesla. There was a million Teslas.
Okay.
Not Tesla the car, but Nikola.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And that in his day, there was a million people like him who were radically innovative. It was a weird dream. It was so strange. And I've had it more than once.
Results in very rapid technology and innovation. That's for sure.
It's one of the only dreams in my life I've had more than one time.
Okay.
Like where I've woken up and it's in the same dream. I'm in the same dream. And in this dream, it's 1940s, 1950s, but everyone is severely advanced. There's flying blimps with like LCD screens inside of them, and everything's bizarre and strange. And it stuck with me for whatever. Obviously, this is just a stupid dream, but for whatever reason, all these years that stuck with me. Like, it takes one man like Nikola Tesla to have more than 100 inventions that were patents, right? I mean, he had some
Pretty great.
pretty fucking amazing ideas.
Yes.
But there was,
Definitely.
in his day, there was very few people like him.
That's true.
What? And
Things
this
would advance very quickly.
right? There's not a million Elon Musks. There's one, motherfucker. Do you think about that? Just try to not.
I don't think you necessarily want to be here.
Well, here's the worst part about
I think people would like that.
well, most people, but they can't be. That's like some superhero type shit. You know, I wouldn't want to be Spider-Man. Just like Titan Gotham City. Hope he's out there doing his job.
It's very hard to turn it off.
Yeah. What's the hardest part?
Like, it sounds great to turn
It's-
it on. Like, what if it doesn't turn off?
Now, I showed you the isolation tank. You've never experienced that before.
No.
I think that can help you turn it off a little bit, just for the night. Yeah, just give you a little bit of sleep, a little bit of perspective. Some magnesium that you get from the water as well makes you sleep easier because the water has Epsom salts in it. But maybe some sort of strategy for sacrificing your biological, not sacrificing, but enhancing your biological recovery time by figuring out a way, whether it's through meditation or some other ways to shut off that thing at night. Like you must have like a constant stream of ideas that's running through your head all the time.
No. I'm getting text messages from friends saying, what the hell are you doing? It's
Is that bad for you? It's legal.
I mean, it's not, you know, I'm not a regular smoker of weed.
How often is one?
Just never. I mean, it's. I don't actually notice any effect.
Oh, there you go. There was a time where I think it was Ramdas or someone gave some Buddhist monk a bunch of acid,
Okay.
and he ate it, and it had no effect on him.
I doubt that.
I would say that too, but I've never meditated to the level that some of these people have, where they're constantly meditating all day. They don't have any material possessions, and all of their energy is spent trying to achieve a certain mindset. I would like to cynically deny that. I'd like to cynically say, they just fucking think the same way I do. They just hang out with flip-flops on and make weird noises. But maybe no.
You know, I know a lot of people like agree, and that's fine. But I don't find that it's
For you.
not for me.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would imagine that for someone like you, it's not. Someone like you, it'd be more like a cup of coffee, right? You have a latte.
Yeah, it's more like the opposite of a cup of coffee. It's like a cup of coffee in request.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you would like more. More like what would be beneficial to you would be like coffee.
I like to get things done. I like to be useful. That is one of the hardest things to do. Is to be useful.
When you say you'd like to get things done, like
Yes.
in terms of like what
Like to get things
gives
done.
you satisfaction when you complete a project, something you invent comes to fruition, and you see people enjoying it, that feeling.
Yes, you're doing something useful for other people.
That's interesting for other people.
Yeah.
So that, do you think that is maybe the way you recognize that you have this unusual position in the culture where you could uniquely influence certain things because of this? I mean, you essentially have a gift, right? I mean, you can even think it was a curse, but I'm sure it's been fueled by many, many years of discipline and unlearning. But you essentially have a gift, and that you have this radical sort of creativity in you when it comes to innovation and technology. It's like you're going at a very high RPMs
All the time.
What is that like?
Doesn't stop. I don't know what would happen if I got into a sensory deprivation tank.
It's true.
It sounds concerning. It's like running the engine with no resistance. That
Is
seems,
that what it is though? Maybe it's not.
maybe it's fine. I don't know. I'll try it.
Have you ever experimented with meditation? No.
Yeah.
What do you do? Or what have you done?
I could just sort of sit there and be quiet and then repeat sort of mantra, which actually it's still the mind. It's still the mind. I don't find myself drawn to it frequently.
Do you think that perhaps productivity is maybe more attractive to you than enlightenment? Like, or even the concept of whatever enlightenment means? What are you trying to achieve? With you, it seems like almost like there's a franticness to your creativity that comes out of this burning furnace. And in order for you to like calm that thing down, you might have to throw too much water on it.
It's like a never-ending explosion.
Like, what is it like? I try to explain it to a dumb person like me. What's going on in her head?
Never-ending explosion.
It's just constant ideas, just bouncing around.
Yeah.
Whew. Man. So when everybody leaves, it's just Elon sitting at home, brushing his teeth. Just a bunch of ideas bouncing around your head.
Yeah. All the time. When I was 5 or 6, I was insane.
Why do you think you're insane?
I just nailed it up. Their mind was exploding with ideas all the time.
They weren't expressing. They weren't talking about it all. And you realize by the time you're 5 or 6, like, oh, they're probably not even getting this thing that I'm getting.
It's just strange. It was like strange. That was like strange.
But did you feel diminished by it in any way? Like knowing that this is a weird thing that you really probably couldn't commiserate with other people? They wouldn't understand
I
you.
hope they wouldn't find out because they might take me away with something.
You thought that
For a second, yes.
when you were little. Like when you were little, you thought this?
Yes.
Wow. Like you thought this is so radically different than the people that are around me. If they find out I got the stream coming in.
Yeah. You know, I was only like 5 or 6.
Do you think this is like, I mean, there's there's outliers biologically. I mean, there's people that are 7'9". There's people that have giant hands. There's people that have eyes that are 2015 vision. There's always outliers. You feel like you caught this, like you've got you're on some weird innovation, creativity sort of wave that's very unusual. And you're constantly doing this. You're a weird person.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. Like, what if there's a million Elon Musks?
That would be very, very weird. Yeah, very weird. Like, real weird.
Yeah.
What if they're really Joe Rogans?
Oh, come on. $2 million. I mean, I think that's the case with a lot of folks.
Yeah, I mean, but like, my goal is like trying to do useful things, try to maximize the probability the future's good, future exciting, something to look forward to. With Tesla, we're trying to make things that people love. It's like not how I just you buy that you really love that really give you joy. So rare. I wish there were more things. That's what we're trying to do. Just make things that's
When you think about making things that someone loves, like, do you specifically think about like what things would improve people's experience? Like what would change in their face of life? That would make them more relaxed or more happy? You really think, like, when you're thinking about things like that, is that like one of your considerations? What can I do that would help them?
Yeah.
Maybe they would be able to figure it out.
Yeah, like what are the set of things that can be done to make the future better? So I think that the future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, this is very exciting. This makes me look forward to the future. This makes me want that future. And the things, there need to be things that make you look forward to waking up in the morning. Look forward to the future. The future where we are a spacefaring civilization. So I think it's very exciting. Whereas if we knew we would not be a spacefaring civilization and forever confined to Earth, this would not be a good future. That would be very sad.
Could be
So what's a sad future?
Of just the finite lifespan of the Earth itself and the solar system itself. And even though it's possibly, I mean, how long do they feel like the sun, the solar system is going to exist? How many hundreds of millions of years?
It's probably, if you're saying, when does the sun boil the ocean?
Right.
About 500 years.
So, is it sad that we never leave because in 500 million years that happens? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just think like if we're to the future, it's not one future is we're out there with the stars and things we read about them we see in science fiction movies. And those are true. With the starships, we can see what other planets are like. Multi-planet species, the scope and scale of consciousness is expanded across many civilizations and many planets and many star systems. This is a great future. This is a wonderful thing. That's what we should strive for.
That's biological travel. It's cells traveling physically to another location. Do you think that's definitely where we're going?
No?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I used to think so. And now I'm thinking more likely less than ever. Like, almost every day, less likely.
We can definitely go to the moon and Mars.
Yeah.
I think we will go to the asteroid belt, we can go to the moons of Jupiter. Saturn, you get to clear up.
That'd be the craziest place ever if we colonized Mars and we terraformed it and turned it into like a big Jamaica. Just
I think we should.
oceans and
I think that'd be
I mean, imagine
great.
there
That'd
is
be great.
it's potential. There's
Love-
it's
amazing.
possible, right? We
Yes.
can turn the whole thing into Cancun.
Well,
I mean, over time.
it wouldn't be easy, but yes.
Right. It's
You could just warm it up.
yeah. You can warm it up. You can add air. You can get some water there. I mean, over time, hundreds of millions of years, whatever it takes.
We'd be a multi-planet species.
That would be amazing.
Multi-planet species. That's what it would be.
Legitimately like air conditioned
Great.
Saturn.
Like pro-human.
Me too. Yeah, me
I
too.
love humanity. I think it's great.
We're glad as a robot that you love humans. We love you too, and we don't want you to kill us and eat us.
I mean, strangely, I think a lot of people don't like humanity. It's white, but I do not.
But I think one of those, I think part of that is just they've been struggling. When people struggle, they associate their struggle with other people. They never internalize their problems. They look to other people as holding them back. And people suck, and fuck people, and it's just, it's a never-ending cycle. But not always. Again, most people are really good. Most people, vast majority.
This may sound corny,
It does sound corny,
but love is the answer. Yep.
Yeah, it is. It sounds corny because we're all scared. We're all scared of trying to love people, rejected, or someone taking advantage of you because you're trying to be loving. Sure. If we all just relax, love each other.
Wouldn't hurt to have more love in the world.
It definitely wouldn't hurt. That would be great.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Really.
How do you fix that? You have a love machine you work on?
No, but probably spend more time with your friends and less time on social media.
Now, deleting social media from your applications, from your phones, that give you 10% boost to happiness. With percent.
I think probably something like that,
Yeah, good 10%.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've just Twitter because it kind of like it's some means of getting this message out, That's about it. So far, so good.
Well, what's interesting with you actually occasionally engage with people on Twitter.
Yeah.
What percentage of that is a good idea?
Good question.
10%. It's hard.
It's mostly, I think it's on balance more good than bad, but there's definitely some bad. So,
Do you ever
hopefully the good outweighs the bad.
Do you ever think about how odd it is, the weird feeling that you get when someone says some shit at you on Twitter and you read it? The weird feeling. It's a weird little negative jolt. It's like a subjective negative jolt of energy. You don't really need to absorb it, you do anyway. Like, oh, fuck this guy. Fuck him.
I mean, there's a lot of negativity in Twitter.
It is, but it's weird. It's in its form. Like the way, if you ingest it, if you're like, you try to be like a little scientist as you're ingesting it, you're like, wow, how weird is this? And I'm even getting upset that some strange person is saying something mean to me. It's not even accurate.
I mean, the vast number of negative comments, the vast, I'm just every now and again, for it.
It's not good.
Make mistakes.
Yes, you can make mistakes.
Make some mistakes.
We're all human. We can make mistakes. Yeah. It's hard, and people love it when you say something and you take it back. You're like, fuck you, save it forever. Fucking screenshot that shit, bitch. You had that thought. You had that thought. Like, well, I deleted it. Not good enough. You had the thought. I'm better than you. I never had that thought. You had that thought, you piece of shit. Look, I saved it. On my blog.
Yeah, I'm not sure why people think that anyone would think that deleting a tweet makes it go away. It's like, hello, been on the internet for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's even like, the thing is they don't want you to be able to delete it. Because the problem is, if you don't delete it and you don't believe it anymore, it's really hard to say, hey, that thing above I don't really believe that anymore. I changed the way I view things. Because people go, well, fuck you. I already have that over there. I'm gonna just take that. I'm not gonna pay attention to that shit you wrote underneath it.
It's on your permanent
Yeah,
record.
it's forever, bro. It's a tattoo.
Put this on your permanent record.
Yeah, it's like a tattoo. Keep it. Yeah. Well, it's this thing where there's a lack of compassion. It's a lack of compassion issue. People just like intentionally shitting to each other all the time online and trying to catch. They're more trying to catch people doing something that's arrestable, like a cop trying to like get arrests on his record. It's like they're trying to catch you something more than they're logically looking at it, thinking it's a bad thing you've done, or that it's an idea they don't agree with so much that they insult you. I'm trying to catch you.
Yeah, I mean, it's way easier to be mean on social media than it is to be mean in person. It's way easier.
Yeah. It's not a normal way of human interacting. It's cheating. You're not supposed to be the interaction because people are not looking at it.
Yeah.
You would never do that. You'd never be so mean to someone looking in your eyes. If you did, you'd feel like shit.
Most people.
Yeah, unless you're a sociopath, you feel terrible.
Yes.
Elon Musk. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
It really has been.
It's been an honor to meet you.
Thanks for doing this, because I know you don't do a lot of long form stuff like this. I hope it didn't weird you out. I hope you don't get mad and smoke weed. It's not bad. It's legal. We're in California. This is just as legal as this whiskey we've been drinking.
Exactly.
This is all good, right?
Cheers.
Thank you. Is there any message you would like to put out other than love's the answer? Because I think we really nailed it with that.
No, I think, I think people should be nicer to each other. Give more credit to others. And don't assume that they're mean until they're actually mean. It's easy to demonize people. You're usually wrong about it. A little nicer than you think. Give people more credit.
I couldn't agree more, and I want to thank you not just for all the crazy innovations you've come up with and constant flow of ideas, but that you choose to spread that idea, which is it's very vulnerable, but it's very honest, and it resonates with me, and I believe it. I believe it's true too. So thank you, and all you assholes out there, be nice. Be nice, bitch. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Monica. Good night, everybody. Welcome back.
Here we go again.
Great to see you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You will never forget what is going on in the world when you think about when you were a child. You will know for the rest of this child's life, you were born during a weird time.
That's for sure.
That is for sure. It's probably the weirdest that I can remember.
Yeah. It was one on.
And that's the weirdest too.
Yeah.
Has to be. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, that was the perfect day for you. Yeah. How do you say the name?
Well,
is it a placeholder?
it was my partner is the one that actually posted me up.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just X, the letter X. And then the AE is Snatch. Yeah. And then E12. A12 is my contribution.
Oh, why E12?
RP12, because this was the
I agree with you. I don't know. I'm not familiar. I know what SR71 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that is.
So the SR71 came from a program that's the update.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Oh, okay. Well, as a person who's very much into aerial travel, as you are, that's perfect. That's very great. Yeah, very great. So does it feel strange to have a child while this craziness is going? Does it feel like you've had children before it's a city weirder?
It's actually, I think it's better being older and having a kid. I appreciate it. Yeah, maybe they're awesome.
They are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
When I didn't have any of my own, I would see other people's kids, and I didn't not like them,
Sure.
but I wasn't drawn to them. But now when I see little people's kids, I think of them like these love packages.
Yeah, those are lovely.
Yeah, it's just you think of them differently when you see them come out and then grow and then eventually start talking to you. Your whole idea what a baby is very different.
Yeah.
So now as you get older and get to appreciate it as a mature, fully formed adult, it's be really pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I mean, also, I've spent a lot of time on AI, and that's tendency to sort of see, brain development, which is, an AI neural net is trying to see what the brain does, and you can sort of see the deep learning very
See things fun. So you're talking about the neural net. You're not talking about the actual net.
What about actually an actual baby?
But both of them.
Yes, but the word neural net comes from the brain instead of connected neural net. So, it's hard.
That's a great way. So when you're programming artificial intelligence, or you're working with artificial intelligence, are they specifically trying to mimic the developmental process of the human brain?
In a lot of ways, there's some ways that are different. An analogy that's often used is like, be a submarine for but we take the principles of hydrodynamics and others. So,
As a layperson, do you try to achieve the same results as a human brain but through different methods, or do you try to copy the way a human brain achieves results?
I mean, the essential elements of an AI neural net are really very, very similar. That combination, because all these things are very great. There are through a series of intermediate steps to the operation, and then over those three steps, go back and forth.
Yeah, I would imagine, like the thought of programming something that is eventually going to be smarter than us, that one day it's going to be like, do it that way. When artificial intelligence becomes sentient, they're like, trying to mimic yourself. It's so much better process. Kind of all this nonsense.
They're actually elements that are the same, just almost like an aircraft is not flying. Right. Just flat the wings. But the wings, the way the wings work and generate lift is the same.
Now you're in the middle of this this strange time where you're selling your houses, so you don't want any material possessions. I've been seeing all that, and I've been really excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting thing to come from a guy like yourself. Like, why are you doing that?
I'm slightly sad about it. But
Well, if you're sad about it, why are you doing it?
I think having possessions kind of weigh you down. They're kind of an attack vector.
Attack vector meaning like target.
Yeah.
But you're obviously so you're gonna rent a place and get rid of everything except clothes.
No, I said like almost everything. So
Keep a couple pesos.
yeah, sure.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So do you feel like there's there's a lot more stuff if you don't like it? Yeah. money to sell our stuff. I understand. But you feel like people define you by the fact that you're wealthy, and that they define you in a pejorative way.
For sure. I mean, not everyone, but this, for sure, in recent years, millionaires become like it's like that's a bad thing, which I don't make a lot of sense in cases. If you basically organize the company. So like, how does this work rise? If you organize people in a better way to produce products and services that are better than what existed before, and you have some ownership in that, then that essentially gives you the right to allocate capital. So there's a conflation of consumption and capital allocation. So we take Warren Buffett, for example, and we totally recognize what he's doing, but he does a lot of capital allocation, and he reads a lot of annual reports of companies, accounting that's pretty boring, and he's trying to figure out if his quote or perhaps seen his over. I mean, that's he's kind of a boring job. But it's still a thing that's important to figure out, which this company deserving more or less capital should that company expand is making products and services that are better than others or worse. Companies making compelling products and services should get more capital. It's not, it should be nice.
Well, there's a big difference too between someone who's making an incredible amount of money designing and engineering fantastic products versus someone who's making an incredible amount of money by investing in companies or moving money around the stock market or doing things along those lines. It's a different thing. And to put them all in the same category seems it's very simple. And as you pointed out, it's an attack vector.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really. I do think there are, in the United States especially, there's an over-allocation of talent in finance. Basically, too many smart people in finance. So, this is both a compliment and criticism. We should have fewer people that grow up in finance and more people reading stuff. Yeah.
That would certainly be better for all involved if they did better stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And manufacturing used to be highly valuable in the United States. These days, it's kind of it's often counterproductive.
Well, I think that people are kind of learning that, particularly because of this whole pandemic and this relationship that we have with China, that there's a lot of value in making things and making things here.
Yes, somebody's got to do the real work.
Yeah.
And making a car in some days is the last days of making sure making anything really work, providing valuable service, providing good entertainment and information. These are all valuable things. So yeah, should be more.
Did you have a moment where this is something that this idea of getting rid of material possessions is something that built up over time? Did you have a moment of realization where you realized that?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while. Part of it is like I have a bunch of houses, but I don't spend a lot of time on it. That doesn't seem like a good use of assets. Like some people like houses get better use of it.
But you have cheap waters now.
I do. It's also gas rated. Exactly.
Did you request that the buyer not fuck it up?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, requiring it. That's a good requirement. Not in that case.
Yeah, it'll probably sell for less.
I was a legend. You want his soul. You want his essence.
Yeah.
His filming.
Yes, and it's that. It's a real quick.
Is it?
Quick announcement.
What makes you say there? What do you get out of it?
I think all the cabinets are made, and they're like odd shapes. And there's like doors to nowhere, strange corridors and tunnels, odd paintings. Yeah,
Did you ever live in it?
it's very quirky. I did live in it.
But why do you buy houses? Like, if you own all these houses, do you just get bored and go, I think I'd like to have that?
Well, I had my house, and then the other house right across the road. So it was gonna get sold now. It'd be a big construction zone in 3 years. So, I think I'll buy it. So, it's virgin water. I started doing some privacy issue for some biking plans. For some kind of so I said, like, what a house, some of the houses are not my house, and then I thought, right, well, to build a house, so it's like, right, some properties, it's not really smart, which is great. It's like, at least a bunch of some small little houses, they're going to get to it right now. Like these like little houses. Dream house.
What's a dream house for you? It's a start type shit.
Yeah, you gotta have the door that opens up when it's still on.
Yeah, for sure. Fuck yeah.
But then it's like, man, does it really make sense for me to spend time designing and building a house and then most of the details? Or should I be allocating the time to get used to Mars? I should probably do the latter. So, like, what's more important, Mars or a house?
Is that really how you think? Like, that you'd be better off planning on a trip to Mars or getting people to Mars?
Yeah. I mean, you like do so many things.
Right.
So
I don't know how you do, but you do anything. I don't understand how you can run Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX, all these different things you're doing constantly. I don't understand. You explained last time we were here how you sort of allocate your time, how hectic it is, insane. Still don't. The productivity is baffling. It just doesn't make sense that you get so much done.
I think I do have high productivity with that. There's still some upgrade left to do. And allocate time to building a house, even if it's really a great house, still is not used to other promises or used to ours. Sustainability. SpaceX and Tesla are by far most amount of great cycles. The Boring Company does not take most 1% great cycles. Your which is maybe it's like 5%.
And private that's a good chunk.
It's a good chunk.
We were talking about that last time when you were trying to figure out when it's actually going to go live. It's actually going to Are you testing on it right now?
Yeah, it would be too hot. Maybe it's
And when you do this, is there any test that you have to do before you do something like this to see what percentage of people's bodies are going to reject these things? Is there a potential for rejection?
it's a variable potential rejection. Think of it like people put in, hard times and things for seizures, people with stimulation. Yes. So the probability of, it's well known which rejection it's it's definitely harder when you've got some mountains. Reading, so reading and writing drawings, that's generally most of me. Also, that's most of the harder. Then that's it's very difficult. There are people who have creative devices. What kind of devices? Well, like deep race simulation is quite it's really traffic science, which is kind of remarkable. It's very, it kind of like exams are great. It's cable TV. And you think like, man, cable TV shouldn't work.
That's sometimes.
Yeah.
The old TVs. My grandpa used to stop the top for sure.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, so there's the price of fish. Change people's life. Fun.
Well, let's talk about what you can talk about, what your week is. Because the last time you were here, we really couldn't discuss it. And then there was, I guess, a press release, something that sort of outlined. Yeah, that happened quite a bit after the last time you were here. So what exactly is it? How do you do what happens if someone ultimately does get a NeuroLink installed? What was it?
Well, conversion on the device would be basically implanted in your skull. But it would be something flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, replace NeuroLink device in there. You put the electrical threads very carefully into the brain. And then you stitch it up, and you don't even know that's going to happen. And then it's the interface basically where and you're in, right? So it would be something that it's like versus tri-stacking if you flush it up. You're like pretty much anything that we're you can principle fix almost anything that is wrong. And it could